p.m. we begin 9 hours of LA sports talk all day long. Well, last night, the Lakers just couldn't get it done against Memphis. Tough fight. Without LeBron and D'Lo, it was a tough one. Night 2 of the back-to-back and another big challenge. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. this afternoon with Slee. Meanwhile, the Clippers dropped their third straight last night. I remember when Travis used to point out issues with Russell Westbrook when he was on the Lakers. And everyone got mad on Twitter and said, Trav, stop it. You can only figure out what's impacted the Clippers the last 3 games. Meanwhile, it was an early Lakers game. Did Slee finally watch an episode of Your Honor with our friend Brian Cranston?
Your Honor. I will start watching Your Honor.
We'll see. I'll believe it when I see it.
What if while we're doing the show, it's on in the background? I have one
Watch
headphone.
it on your phone.
We'll find out. Plus, coming up around 10:45 this hour, Ask Geeter. Yes, Geeter from Spectrum Sportsnet will join the show. Are we doing this just so Slee can get more TV time? Anyway, let's get to it. Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday right now.
Whatever it takes. Yeah. Slee gets more TV time out of it. It's all good for me.
Next week, we're doing the VP from Spectrum.
Yeah, you're going to have Kevin Ding, and you're going to have the Kamenetsky brothers. We're going to have everybody. We'll have Brez.
Everybody.
We'll have
Grab a couple people. Grab a couple people from CBS too. Just
By the
go
way,
down the list.
I've been telling you got to twist Jim Hill's arm.
Jim, we got to work on.
Ask Jim Hill would be.
Jim, I feel like is like it's going to be like a 3-month project for me to just.
It's big get. I'm not going to lie. It's
Jim
big
Hill.
Get. It's Jim Hill. That's all that needs to be said.
We brushed over Taylor's suggestion.
What did you say, Taylor? I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Ask Lady Slee.
Ask Lady Slee. If she's down to do it, I'm down. I don't know if she would be down to do it, but I'll ask her. That'll be my first Ask Lady Slee question. Would you like to do
Ask Lady Slee?
Ask Lady Slee.
That's a good,
I'll ask her.
That's a very good idea, Taylor. We should definitely do that. I heard, listening to Chris and the imaging coming in, you and I, we don't know what the imaging is going to be until we hear it, right?
Yeah.
That's the first time that we hear it.
Chris does send it to me at
Do you hear it?
midnight.
Yeah, okay,
At midnight,
I don't get
connect.
it.
Him and I talk at midnight.
Perhaps you get it. I don't get it. I hear it for the first time when the audience hears it for the first time. Prior to coming on the air, you and I were talking about the fact that the Clippers are 0-3 in the 3 games that Russell Westbrook has played. And it just seems like people don't care nearly as much about that. And I don't know, and I told you this, I have not, other than the crazy game they had against the Kings where they scored 350 points, I really haven't even watched highlights of Clipper games over the last Russell Westbrook era, right? I don't know. I just know they're 0-3. I don't know if 1 + 1 = 2, that's why they're 0-3, because he's been bad. I just know that it's pretty funny that they're 0-3 since Russell Westbrook's been added to the team.
Which one were you more impressed with? Russ going to a new team and starting out 0-3, or Morales breaking down 0-3 Clippers since Russ has been there?
Both.
Morales kind of going through. I was ready for him to say, right now, currently, this is where Russ is shooting from the free throw line.
His PER, his player efficiency rating in the final 5 minutes per 100 possessions.
Do you want to know the worst part about all this? You know how petty I am about the Clippers. Okay? Yesterday, they played Minnesota.
Yeah.
It was more important for the Lakers to see the Clippers win yesterday.
Right.
Okay, in post-game show yesterday, I was talking about, I'm like looking at some scores around the NBA. Basically, every team that the Lakers needed to lose lost yesterday. All of them, whether it was the Blazers, the Utah Jazz lost to the Spurs, everybody was losing. Sacramento beat Oklahoma City. I'm like, guys, I know it's going to sound weird. We need the Clippers to win tonight. They lost.
Of course they did.
Of course they
did. 0-3 with Russell Westbrook. I'm going to use the same line that I
How are
heard.
they 0-3?
Well, I like I said, I have not seen it other than looked at some box scores and things like this. But I'm going to use the Jerome Bettis line that I heard. I don't know if he invented it, but he used the first one I heard say it, so I give him the credit. If everywhere you go it smells like crap, it's probably you. And all I know is that when he was here, Lakers struggled. Now that he's with the Clippers, now look, they could turn around and win 5 in a row. They're a good team. But 0-3, I'm not saying that that's the reason. I'm saying that it's funny that he's 0-3 in 3 games.
It's impossible for you to talk about the Clippers today and not say, hey, Russ has been there for 3 games, and they're 0-3 on those 3 games.
One of the games, there was the Kings game. Kawhi had one of those nights. You're like, are you kidding me? Like, he looked like vintage Kawhi. Like, everything about him was A+ Kawhi Leonard, and they still lost.
Okay, you ready for this?
Pretty funny.
the promo also had, or the lead-in had, about if I started watching.
Oh, yeah.
And you right out the gate was like, no chance.
We had a Laker game.
No. Listen, you don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
I got home yesterday probably around, let's say, 9 o'clock, okay? Get home rating.
Okay, okay.
Get home rating the entire time. I was driving 11 miles an hour. I'm not kidding. I was driving 11 miles an hour. Everywhere I went, I felt like I'm hydroplaning or there's a flood. I'm like, how is this the freeway? A car's just zooming right by me. Okay, so finally I get home. Took me about an hour and a half from here to get to Pasadena. Not literally, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That's how slow I was going. So I tell my girl, I'm like, listen, I want to try watching a couple of these shows. I got some suggestions. She's like, okay, where'd you get the... She was, by the way, right out the gate.
She questioned
like,
the source?
Yeah, she's like, where did you get the suggestions from? I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
I like that. I like
okay?
this.
I'm like, I don't know where the hell this is going.
I already liked her, but I like her more now.
She's like,
she's going to make a determination based purely on who made the recommendation. I like that.
And in my head, I'm like, I could tell you that I read an article. I could tell you that it was Travis. I could tell you it was one of my best friends. What does it matter? Are we going to watch these or are we not? We're not watching anything right now. Yeah. Either I'm going to get home and watch NBA League Pass or we're going to watch one of these. Okay? So I started with Bear. Bear was one of the suggestions.
That's the restaurant one?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the suggestion. Part of it, I started with Bear because they're 30 minutes long. And I'm like, okay, it's already 9,
Rami's
whatever.
Rami's also 30 minutes long.
That was another one. But I went with Bear first, only because the reaction of Mason AK when we were mentioning the shows, when I mentioned Bear, both of them stood up like it was a buzzer beater.
Yeah,
right at the end of the game, somebody hit a shot. Okay, they're excited about it. Let's give it a shot. Watch 2 episodes of Bear. 2 episodes of Bear. So 2 half-hour episodes of Bear. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, was all in.
I'm
making it sound like I went to the club like at 11 p.m. or something.
Well, this is the equivalent of this is the Sliwa Club.
This is after a Laker game. Yeah. Watch 2 episodes of Bear. So, Emily, just give you my thoughts there. It's chaotic. There's a lot going on, but I'm in.
That's kind of the point. It's to mirror what it's like to work in the service industry.
Sure.
Because people who watch the show who've worked in the service industry say that's 100% how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, even from me working in a fast food restaurant, it kind of feels like the kinetic energy of that.
So it was chaotic. It was a lot was going on, but it was enough. T-Raj, I don't know how many episodes you got to go to say yes. Watch the first episode, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this a second one. Okay, we're good there. That ended.
You did not. You did not. You went for a third episode or
I
something?
did not. Even worse. Went to Showtime. Asked her, do we have a Showtime password, this, that? She said, no, we don't. Free trial. 1 episode you get of Your Honor.
Yep.
Watched 1 hour of Your Honor. Now, listen. Now, let me also just say this. I feel like I got an hour and a half of sleep last night, but I was in. Your Honor is amazing.
It really gets you.
Amazing.
I watched it in a weekend. It was a binge.
I only saw 1 episode, and that's how Showtime hooks you. They said, here's 1 episode. You get it for free. Nothing.
Did you get your credit card out at the end of the first episode?
I haven't because it was so late, but I'll do that. I'll do that another day.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the sentence that Emily just said to come out of your mouth next. That's the thing. We're like, Traff, watch the whole thing in a weekend. Watch 9 hours of TV on a Saturday afternoon. That I want that to be your next step in your evolution of television viewing.
I'm pretty good at. Yesterday's a bad example.
Stopping yourself.
I'm pretty good at
a bad example. I've never heard of you watching 3 hours of TV in a
well,
night
it wasn't 3 because
ever.
there's 2 half-hour
episodes
episodes.
of TV.
So
But even
it's basically 2 Breaking Bads.
You don't do that. That's
No, I do
very
not do
out of
that.
character for you.
Yeah,
I like
I don't
it.
do that.
I like to watch 4 tonight. You've got another Laker game tonight. See if you can get to like 1 a.m. Knock out 3 more episodes of The Bear, and then do. 2
I have it on right now.
episodes of Your Honor. I want you to come in barely able to open your eyes. Take a day off tomorrow. Just don't even go to
Amanda,
bed.
does that work? No,
This is-
no, it
You
does
know
not.
what? I might
That
give
does
you the
not
day
work.
off just so
Okay.
you can catch up on all these shows because they're shows that I like as well. So
Your
you know,
Honor
I
was-
might think- okay. I'm
That was
fully-
intense.
I was talking to Emily, so I'm fully caught up. So the second season, I think so far there's 7 episodes. I want to say, and I just watched
Oh,
the
I got
most
some work to
recent
do.
one. Yeah, I'm.
Boss, when you sit down to watch a TV show like that, do you bang out like 9 in a row, or do you watch
well,
a
so they
series
release
over
them.
weeks?
No, it's only like 1 a week.
So yeah, if you're watching if you're watching it as it comes
Yeah.
out, it's
Yeah.
once a week. But I caught season 1 late, so I binged it.
Yeah, so because it's Bryan Cranston and obviously the Steve Mason, Bryan Cranston friend connection, I started Your Honor right away when it, last season when it started. So
like it.
I do the weekly.
T-Raj,
yeah, I
it's
do the weekly
good.
thing. It's really good,
It's
Trav.
good.
So Amanda and I have very similar tastes in TV.
Yes, we do.
We like a
Yes.
lot of the same stuff.
And
so
and Trav,
yeah.
I think so. Mason yesterday was saying he really liked the first season. The second season's good. I actually really liked the second season and thought the first season was good, but I
Okay.
think it's a little bit like the two seasons are different.
Without
Two
giving
different characters.
Yeah.
any details, the storyline for when the first episode is done, you're like, oh no, this is interesting.
It's pretty
Yeah.
gruesome.
Yeah, this
There's
is
a
interesting.
very
Yeah.
long, prolonged scene that's pretty
Yeah.
gruesome.
And even though the
But-
episodes
but
are like an hour,
Set up the right way.
and even though the episodes are an hour,
Mm-hmm.
when an episode is over, I'm like, what? Like
'Cause it went
I
so
want,
quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a guy from The Wire in it, right? The detective.
Which
from
guy?
The Wire. I
Yep.
don't know
Which
his
Wire
name.
character?
I haven't watched
Oh,
The Wire,
which
but I do
Wire
know he's in
character?
it.
I don't know his name either. I'd have to wait. Is that through the first episode? Who's the guy that? There's also the guy that was he the mayor of something else in another show? I gotta look at the characters. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you in the break. By the way, Hulu has 94 commercials for every 7 minutes that they play.
Well,
Does
that's-
everybody know that? And I'm just the first
Well,
one
you
to.
can pay for the
you can
commercial
get
free.
commercial free. Just get out your credit. There has to be
Did
some.
you get the free
app.
Disney employee one? Is that what you did?
That's got commercials, I believe.
That has commercials.
Yeah.
No, this was her password,
Oh,
so it
okay.
didn't have.
You
didn't
should
have
find
Disney.
there has to be an app somewhere where you can just put
Yeah,
your credit
Pandora
card
and
on
YouTube
it
is the
and
only
just-
one.
It'll
Oh,
pay,
and it
it'll
just
pay for
keeps-
every streaming service available to you. The second a new one comes out, you get dinged for 10
So
more bucks.
the guy in The Wire, he is State Senator
Yeah, it was
Clay Davis.
Oh,
You remember
he's
that?
great.
He's the one that's in.
Yes.
He's
Clay
in
Davis
episode
is
1.
Great.
He's episode
it's
1.
I can't say it, but he.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Him. He's great. He's a great actor and great character in that one. All right, Lakers. They lost last night, Slee, and
I didn't watch a game. I was watching.
Well,
Your
then
Honor.
maybe you can't help me because I was going to ask you to kind of walk me through what it is that I watched last night. I'm confused. I'm
Okay.
confused
I will
by
help
what
you.
I saw last night, and there's a potential, and then there's a uh-oh, and I'm not sure which way I should feel. It's next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN.
At least you didn't eat it like Mace. You're good. Oh.
It is Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday. We're reacting to the Lakers dropping to the Grizzlies last night. Plus, OKC next up. Night 2 of the back-to-back on the road. Coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. today after Mason and Ireland with the title Lakers Countdown to tip-off. Tip-off at 5 p.m. Hear all of it for your afternoon drive on your flagship radio station of Lakers basketball, 710 ESPN. Right now, more of Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday.
Well, Slee, I was going to ask you to maybe kind of walk me through some things, but I don't think I need it anymore. I think I've got it figured out at this point. This just dropped right now, Em?
Yes, from Shams.
Some breaking news brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Lakers, Anthony Davis listed out tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So Anthony Davis, who's pretty darn good last night, will not play tonight in a game against OKC, a game that I believe Dennis Schroeder himself described as a must-win sort of situation. I was kind of going to get into it at some point, Slee, about I don't know if tonight necessarily is, but I think the next 4 games, if you don't win more than you lose over the next 4 games, I think the writing's on the wall at that point. This is a team that always plays the Lakers tough. This is a team that always seems to give them a hard fight, even when it is LeBron and AD. Now you're not going to have LeBron. You're not going to have AD. I guess we're still waiting to see if D'Angelo Russell will play.
He won't play.
He won't play.
He's out too.
He's out officially?
Yeah, officially out.
Okay, so there you go. They're likely to lose tonight.
By the way, how does Shams do that?
He's pretty quick.
Yeah, everybody got the same email, and Sham already had put it out.
Yeah, well, he gets it first.
Here I am talking about Your Honor. I could have said something. Instead,
you need to get better sources.
Jesus.
You need to get Sham's sources.
I don't know what's more
along the way.
important.
Yeah, well, very good point. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for locations and coupons today. So we can talk about last night, and we should and we will, but
give me your questions. I'm curious about the questions that you had.
So last night was odd because the Lakers, through the first half of the game,
up 3.
Yeah, and by the way, low scoring.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, all right, maybe this is a way for them to kind of slow the game down. Maybe this is
muddy the water.
Yeah, just be a hard team to play against. Mm-hmm. Just be that team. And you're thinking, okay, I don't love it, but we'll see. They're in a game against a pretty good team on the road. Let's see what happens next. Then Ja went bananas in the third quarter, and the game felt like, okay, this is going to be a blowout. And then the Lakers kind of closed the gap again, but it never really felt like they were going to get over the hump either. I didn't know whether to feel good about that Anthony Davis was able to keep them close against a good team, no D'Lo, no LeBron, and they were in it, or they played pretty well by their standards, minus the 26 turnovers, which we could talk about.
Yeah.
And they lost anyway. It was an odd mix, but with AD out now, what are we talking about? I mean, at this point, the writing's kind of on the wall.
All right, so just to play off of yesterday real quick, you're right. They kind of did some stuff in that first half where I was surprised they had a 3-point lead against Memphis on the road without Bron, without D'Angelo Russell. So I never expected the Lakers to win the game yesterday, nor would I have been shocked or surprised. I think coming into the game, the spread was 9. It was like, yeah, I'd take the over on that.
Okay.
I thought they would lose by somewhere around there.
They did.
And they ended up losing exactly by that. You said something about the third quarter and about Ja Morant. Let me just kind of give you an example about this. Again, I'm going to say I was not expecting the Lakers to beat the Grizzlies yesterday. Period, point blank, just leave it at that. Sometimes I think there are moments of a game that's frustrating. And you've mentioned this a couple different times, more during late game situation where we've talked about some of our frustration with Darvin Ham. Just some of the stuff that he does towards end of games.
Yep.
Ja Morant had 28 points in the third quarter yesterday. 28 points in one quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I don't mind the 28 points in one quarter. I do, but I'll tell you what I don't mind. Certain players, there's just nothing that you can do. And if Steph Curry gets going and he's hitting threes and they're fadeaways and coming off of screens and there's just nothing you could do, I get it, I understand it. The problem is Ja Morant did the same thing 48 times in the same quarter. That nothing changed. That he kept getting all his buckets inside the paint, around the basket. I'm going to drive him. If Ja Morant takes an 18-footer, you know what you say?
Fine.
I'll live with it.
Fine.
I'll live with it. Problem is Ja Morant was doing everything within 6, 7, 8 feet of the basket. And the Lakers did nothing different. So my frustration is you're in a game and one of the best players in the league gets going. He starts cooking. I understand. He starts cooking. Just as an idea here, why not throw a double at him? Can we get this guy just out of a flow for a second? Why don't we just start making Ja Morant? Ja, you're done. You're not scoring the rest of the quarter. Your other dudes start going? Cool. What you can have happen is the same guy do the same play, and they're getting to the basket. How does a guard get to the basket every single time, and you're not making any adjustments? So to hit off of what you just said, I didn't expect the Lakers to beat Memphis yesterday. I did not. I thought it was a game, sort of, in the fourth quarter, right? It wasn't a 25-point deficit, but it also wasn't a one-point game.
You never felt like they were going to win.
It didn't feel like they were going to.
Yeah.
They were just kind of hanging around.
They were hanging around, yeah.
I was okay that ultimately, without two of your point guards, that's why you have so many high turnovers and this and that. But I'm gonna go to today. I'm gonna go to today.
Can I stop you right there before you go to
Yep.
today? Because everything you're saying is right, Al. But the problem is there's not enough runway for that to be okay. It's your analysis is fine. That you can't let John into the paint. You can't do this, and you're probably not going to win that game anyway without your best players. And there's some all of that. Yeah. Problem is you're down to 20 games. If you're in it, you got to kind of find a way to try to steal one. There's not. If this game were in beginning of January, December, it's like, okay, it's March, man, and there's just no. I can live with this. You can't live with any of them anymore, right?
If you're playing,
if we're trying to get into those top 10. If it's a single digit game in the fourth quarter, you got to figure it out. You can't turn it over 26 times.
I know.
To your point about Ja, you can't let a guy get 28
no, you
in
cannot.
a quarter.
No, you cannot.
It can't just be, hey, listen, he's one of the best players in the league. He's unguardable when he gets going. Fine. Figure it out anyway. Because we don't have enough games left. We're 4 games under 500. If 500 is roughly the number to get in, we've got to get there. We don't have enough games to do it. Now we're listening. It's all of these things are fine for a team that's got time to figure it out and time to get guys back.
Yeah.
They don't have any of those things.
So the only reason why I think I'm going to just use this road trip as like chunks. This is before we knew Anthony Davis was going to be out tonight. Chunks is if you walked away 2-1 on this 3-game road trip, I would sign up for it, right? You had Dallas, you had Memphis, you have Oklahoma City. So that's all I'm referring to is if this was the L, sounds good.
Okay.
Get Dallas, get OKC. That's the only thing I'm referring to. You're right. You don't have it's not November 17th.
Right.
There's not you don't have this runway, but that's kind of how I looked at it. I was getting ready to walk into today's show, and I said it in the postgame show yesterday too. This is a must-win tonight. It's a must-win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I really, really genuinely felt that way, that the D'Lo thing really hurts the Lakers because Bron's not there, and now D'Angelo hasn't played for now a few games. If Anthony Davis isn't going tonight and you get a loss against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't know if Shai Gilgeous is going to go. He was out health and safety protocols yesterday. You get a loss tonight, that's as deflating as can be.
I like you're talking about kind of looking at this in chunks, right? I really do think we're going to have an answer for better or for worse, and I think we probably know where it's trending. These next 4 games are their season, right? The next 4 games are at OKC tonight when you're going to play without D'Angelo Russell, without LeBron James, and without Anthony Davis. All right. Good luck. Not impossible, but tough.
And the Thunder have always played the Lakers tough.
Exactly. The next 3, all at home, Minnesota, Golden State, Memphis again. Okay? At worst,
2-2,
2-2, right? Because at 2-2, you go 2-2 over these next 4, you're still 4 games under 500. You probably haven't made up ground unless something weird happens, right?
Yeah.
If you go 1-3, which all of a sudden with all these guys out feels very, very possible,
you lost ground.
You're probably done for the year. Because let's say you go 1-3, coming out of that chunk, you're 6 games under 500. That's 6 games under 500 with 14 games to go. 16 games to go.
Yeah.
So that's a really tough ask with LeBron James, who may or may not be back anytime soon. Probably not.
Oh, Anthony
Anthony Davis is going back. I mean, this is the most Anthony Davis thing ever. The moment where you need him the very, very, very most is when he's unavailable. And I don't know if it's anybody's fault. It's not funny, but it's just so typical that when you had to have him, this is when he's unavailable because he's hurt again.
This is I'm going to tell you why this is a little bit weird for me on the AD front. There was no chatter about anything yesterday. Actually, the chatter was everyone talking about how important the Thunder game is. There was no chatter. Like, I had no idea that I genuinely had no idea there was even a remote chance that AD would be missing the game tonight, just based off
Other than he's just Anthony Davis, and I'm not trying to be funny.
I know you're not. but based off of anything that was being said
one
yesterday
moment in the game where he got knocked down, right? Which there's kind of like a scrum of guys, and I think more than just him hit the ground, but it was maybe two guys. And he was slow to get up. Again, this is typical Anthony Davis stuff. But he did kind of grab his foot at one point. Because I was watching with Michael, and I said, oh, my gosh, Nadi, you got to be kidding me. And he got up, and he continued to play.
Yeah.
But he was slow to get up, and he did grab his foot at one point. And I'm thinking, if that's that, that's that. And took an extra 12 hours to get there, but here we are.
So a couple quotes from last night. This is what I mean by there was no I just didn't even know that was in the cards. I know what you're saying. Hey, this wouldn't be the first time Anthony Davis has missed time. But one of his quotes from yesterday, he's not coming back anytime soon, talking about Braun.
Yeah.
So we can't feel sorry for ourselves. We can't put our heads down. Oh, we miss Braun. We have to go out and compete. We don't want to go home early. He just kind of, there's a number of quotes where none of that to me would seem like somebody that wouldn't be playing today. In my opinion, I said it before we even knew AD was going to be out. It's a must win. You can't lose to the Thunder tonight. You just can't. Now those odds of losing are much more likely.
Every time Anthony Davis talks about it, it's like calliope music. I don't even hear it. It's bum 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 bum. It's like, just, dude, can you just do it? He's another one, right? You've heard me say this about a million different. I don't care what you have to say anymore. I'm only going to go by what I see. I'm only going to go by what you do.
Yeah.
I will be. I
You're
will
talking
react,
to me personally?
maybe a little
I
bit.
don't,
you.
I don't know what's
but
happening
it's
here.
so frustrating to. Oh well, we got to step. Stop telling me do it. And his response is, I'm not playing the next night. I know he's hurt. I know. I'm not saying that this is, made up. I'm not saying that he's anything other than injured.
Yeah.
But it's just, of course he is. Of course he is. Because at the moment you need him the very most, he's unavailable.
Yeah.
And that just seems to be the way that it goes. Beverly Hills and John. Let's try a quick phone call here. John, you're on with Travis Lee. What's up, John?
I just don't understand why this coaching staff continues to get a pass. I mean, I'm just seeing a bunch of dummies here. I mean, when you play your best player, and he's averaging 40 minutes, of course he's going to break down. But Anthony Davis, we needed him for tonight. That game against Memphis, we weren't going to win that game. That game was unwinnable. It was a miracle they were up 3 at halftime. The game we needed is tonight against OKC. These are the teams we're trying to get out in front of to get a playoff position. And 25 turnovers? I mean, can we do it? Can we fake the ball up high? Can we fake the ball up high and throw a bounce pass every now and then? This is all coaching. You look at the Clippers coaching staff, and you got Tyronn Lue, Larry Drew, and Bryant Shaw. You got over 100 years.
Don't use the Clippers coaching staff as an example right now. I don't know if that's the best example. Should have went with any other team.
Well, their GM didn't do them any favors.
Yeah.
So that's their issue. And our GM, Rob, finally did his job. But, I mean, this LeBron has been running on full tilt because he didn't have any viable players to play with. So finally Rob did his job. Oh, thank goodness. But it's a little too late. If we don't make the playoffs, I say you blow this whole thing up. You trade LeBron, you trade AD, and we start over.
All right, John, I want to get in there because you bring up a lot of things. I think that the last part that you said is not totally out of the realm of possibility. I think it's unlikely, but it's not impossible. I want to go back to what you said. Last night was unwinnable. You need a miracle. Not really. It was unlikely. It wasn't unwinnable.
Unlikely is the right word.
It wasn't.
No.
They were ahead at the half. They were within single digits in the fourth quarter. They turned the ball over 26 times and gave up 28 points to one guy in one quarter. If those 26 turnovers go down to just 20, I'm not saying you got to go to 4.
Yeah.
Go to 20.
Yeah.
If Morant's 28 or in one quarter is 22, we're talking about a totally different game. You didn't need a miracle. You just need to play a little bit better.
Do you know how many more shots Memphis took than the Lakers? Just because of turnovers, right? Memphis took 112 shots. Lakers took 86.
Okay, there you go. I mean, so.
But I think what he's saying, is, if you had to, just as an example, and I'm not saying you do it this way, if AD wasn't going to play in one of these two games.
Look, but
I get the concept of don't play against Memphis.
I do too.
Put your eggs in the OKC basket.
I understand that logically. The problem where
I thought he was going to play both.
The problem is
that's the problem.
There are no more we can pick our spots. You got to win all of these games, or you at least have to try to win because you're not good enough to pick your spots. You're not good enough to say, okay, we'll beat OKC, we'll beat Minnesota. We're going to let that Memphis one go. You're not good enough. You have to compete in every single one of these games. He's right about the idea of, well, of course, LeBron James. Yes, that anyone that knows anything about athletics knows that if you ask a guy in his 20th year to be the workhorse on your squad every single night, it's going to break. Everybody knew that, and that's exactly what happened. And there really wasn't a better option than that. It's not like they had a bunch of other good players that they just weren't using.
No, they didn't.
They didn't have any good options. This, where they are right now, was almost inevitable. Where your best player in his 20th season broke. The guy that breaks all the time continues to break all the time. The roster you put together that we knew wasn't good enough dug you a hole so deep for so long that it's going to be very hard to get out.
You're still trying to climb out of it.
Yeah, it's just that all of the things that we were worried about have come true.
You know what?
And now Anthony Davis is hurt again.
You know the one thing, too, that you look in the Western Conference? There are so many bad and average teams right now that it's like still holding the rope, too. I'm like, oh, my gosh, we're right there, yet we can't help each other.
They're almost getting tricked into believing they're better than they are because there are other bad teams in there, right? That because their whole second half of the Western Conference is kind of mediocre.
Portland was up 20 yesterday, lost. Utah played a Spurs team that had lost 16 games in a row, lost.
Yeah.
You know, they just go down the list. And they stay in front of the hunt.
And so did the Lakers. And Anthony Davis is hurt again. All right, more on that coming up when we come back. And you said something, and the caller just said something right there, too, that how much of this is just bad execution and bad coaching, because 26 turnovers feels like something that you could get fixed if you really wanted to get it fixed. That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. All right, we're reminding you that Pickleball Madness, or March Pickleball Madness, is coming up on March 18th at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. It's free for all non-participants, and there's a million things to do, Al.
All right, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come out, hang out. We do these events every time we do them. We love having listeners there. We got our Pop-A-Shot Challenge. We got a beer garden going on. So we got everything going on. Don't forget that day.
Games for the kids. Bring the kids on out. It'll be a great time. You'll watch me and Al just wipe the floor with everybody because we're pickleball experts.
We'll be out in the first round.
Your Wednesday coming up in minutes. Around 10:45, yes, we usually do Ask Slee on Wednesdays. We like to do that guest spot. Ask Geeter. Chris Geeter McGee from Spectrum Sportsnet will join the show. Play a little Ask Geeter. That's coming up around 10:45 this hour on Travis and Sliwa.
It is officially March today, Slee.
Yeah.
Right? So March 1st, which means we're in pickleball month. It's March Madness. It's opening day in baseball is in March. But most importantly, it is the inaugural Pickleball Madness tournament, March 18th from 10 to 4 at the Agape Pickleball Center, Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. Reserved seating is still available. You can register at ESPNLA.com. The event's open to the public. You can come and hang out. You can watch the pickleball. You can get to know everybody, and it'll be a great time. Thank you to Michelob Ultra, Bud Light Seltzer, and Pizza Hut. There will be basketball games on TV, Pop-A-Shot, pickleball demos and lessons. You can bring the kids. There's a kid zone. There's beer, Slee. Who doesn't want to have a couple of beers?
I'll take one right now.
I will certainly have a few beers on that day. There's complimentary food and drink. There's live DJ and entertainment, prizes, giveaways, photo booth. Come on out and have a great time with us. March 18th, Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley for our pickleball tournament. And you're playing tomorrow, weather permitting?
Yeah, we got a little update on that.
Greg kind of, I was, no offense, Greg, but I was barely listening when he was talking about this.
Why would you do that to Berg?
Because I was trying to do something else. I had children text thread going, so I was kind of distracted.
He was probably excited to talk to you and the whole thing. Okay, this is what happened. We talked for a long
time. I enjoy my morning conversation. Now, don't turn this into a thing.
What you said? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you.
I wasn't listening to that particular portion.
I'm supposed to say that.
That's your line.
I'm wearing off on you.
Yeah, I'm the one that what?
All right, so
Yates did it. I know that. I know that Yates is the problem.
We had a game plan. This has been planned for a year and a half, okay? That we are going to play pickleball in Pasadena coming up tomorrow.
Too cold last week. You got to do it this week.
Too cold last week. It was raining, hailing, and they still wanted to play. I'm like, we're not going to play. So tomorrow's supposed to be sunny. 5 p.m. we're supposed to get out there. Me, Berg, Jorge, and Yates.
Right.
We got twos ready to go. Yates sends a text yesterday. Hey, guys, I'm going to go play with Mace. What? What are you talking about?
We got demoted.
We have 4.
The varsity called me up. I'm coming up to play with him.
You're making it sound like Mace is the greatest pickleball player in the world. I guess because of location purposes, because he lives out in that area.
Closer to that
so I get that. I get that. But so now we're down to 3. But I think AK might be trying to fill in. So no matter what, I'm going to be playing tomorrow.
No matter what.
Oh yeah. No,
we're playing 2-on-1. You're gonna see if there's somebody in the park that wants to play. I think
Berg is going to get there earlier.
Okay.
So him and I can play a little 1-on-1. By the time Jorge shows up, then I become the ball boy.
you know that little crouch position next to the net.
I sprint.
I love it
to get the ball.
But I think you would qualify as the ball man at that point. I think you're past the boy
I'm ball
stage
boy.
of your life. You'd be a ball man. Is Slee the ball man today?
He's the ball man.
That's great.
He turned an ankle.
Give me the day. What day are we playing next week? Did we determine that?
All right, let's do this right
because
now.
we need to play for no other reason than we need to figure out
what
our
about
strengths
this?
And weaknesses are.
I think I could throw a day your way.
All right.
Next week.
Can't do Tuesday.
How about Wednesday?
No. Michael's got a baseball game.
All right. How about Thursday the 9th after the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Thursday after the 9th. Or Thursday the 9th after the show.
You know the rule in the Rogers household. If it goes in the calendar, it's
then
gospel.
It's 100%.
Am I putting it in?
Put it in.
All
Thursday.
All right.
Dang it. Why'd you have to set it up that way? Yes. Thursday.
Yeah, this can't be a, hey,
put it
Trav,
in.
Listen, something's come up. Of course you can do that, by the way. I'll be fine with that.
Thursday.
All right, we're
so
done.
Thursday
We're going to do it Thursday.
Damn, that's 2 straight Thursdays going to be on the courts. People are going to be walking by like, is this
that a
guy?
Pro? that guy never looked
it's
out
the
here
worst
before.
pro I've ever seen in my life.
I believe he's a pro. We're going to get our clocks cleaned, by the way.
You think so? That bad?
I really do.
How about against just our people? Against our people, I think we'll hang.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
And this is just, I thought I would be able to be halfway decent at that game. Not good, but good enough to beat someone that stinks.
You like games like this.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that my level of entry would be better than someone who's bad. That's it, right? Just better than someone who stinks.
Yep.
I stink. I really do. It's something that I'm not good at.
But you've been playing ones the entire time, right?
I have, but
so
it's not
you're
that.
You're not going to have to move.
Not as much, but it's. I struggle with a few. You'll see.
Okay.
You'll see.
All right.
Get it figured out.
Once I play, I think I'll have a better idea what you're talking about.
Okay, couple of things here. I want to start with a tweet from Big E, one of our most loyal Travis Lee community members. Big E, I'm going to clean this up a little bit because there's a few profanities in here, but it says players have the most up-to-date training, recuperation, nutrition, etc., and earn the most they've ever earned, yet they're always hurt and load management. Blankety blank, is this even allowed? NBA is becoming a joke. Okay, the NBA, two things here at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to put one over. The load management issue in the NBA, I think, is a real one. I think that it's something the NBA has to try to figure out. I don't know if it's a solvable thing, but it's something that needs to be looked at. Mm-hmm. This level of frustration from Big E, I think, is pretty common, in particular among Laker fans with regards, and the reason I think this came in 4 minutes ago is because of the Anthony Davis thing. LeBron James is not being load managed right now. He's injured.
Yep.
I don't think Anthony Davis is being load managed right now. I think he probably has an injury.
Has to be.
It has to be, right? But this frustration of guys missing as much time as they do, I think you kind of all put it in the blender together, and you get this level of frustration, especially with Anthony Davis, with this. And I'm as guilty of it as anybody. You keep thinking, all right, maybe now's the time that it's going to work out. I think we just need to punt on him ever being the guy that's going to be able to play 70 games, be really good for 60 of those 70 games, and be incredibly reliable.
Already punted on that.
He's just not that guy. And part of the level of frustration is he keeps talking like he is, which I think really rubs people the wrong way, myself included. And it just is what it is. And we all get to it at different points where it's just, okay, I'm not listening to that anymore. I'm just going to go on. You're not playing tonight, fine. But yeah, sure, great. And I think more and more Laker fans are getting there. More and more people are just like, I don't want to say I'm done with that guy because he's too important to what they're going to try and do moving forward.
Yeah.
But they've just changed their expectations with that guy.
So that tweet is, I don't know if I completely agree with the tweet because I don't think it's attached. Load management means the Lakers are strategically in a good place and they're in a position where they're going to make the playoffs and they're just now getting ready to figure out the final 20 games. You can't load manage when you're in 13th or 12th or wherever the Lakers are. So I don't think that's completely attached. I'm just going to assume the AD front. Look, it doesn't help when they are as desperate as they are. That this game is as desperate for the Lakers as it is. That you're coming off a game yesterday where I already read some of the quotes. Everybody's talking about how important this game is. And then
can they win without any of those guys? I mean, I know they can, but
if Shea doesn't play, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think both you and I would agree that the chances of them
your three
winning,
best players aren't playing.
Yeah.
Your three best players are not playing. That's a lot. I don't care what team it is.
So I didn't see anything yesterday. So I guess that's also part of the surprise and the shock. You know how we always want to see something. Oh, that's why he's not playing. Well, because he had
with him,
this happen, that happened.
It's impossible.
But I'm using it as an example. When he was out, he got that injury against Denver. Okay, we knew he was going to miss time. Everything else, I didn't really see anything specific. So,
yeah, but with him, like again,
yeah,
he slept weird. I'm just making stuff up. He caught a cold. I don't know what it is. It's just.
Yeah.
Always something with him. Ask Geeter coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710.
All right, I'm talking to all 710 listeners right now. Let's start off with this. March 18th, it's a Saturday afternoon. Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. That is where I am about to teach everybody a little bit about pickleball. And the reason is because you see my father here is a world champion pickleball player. And while I have never played pickleball, not one time in my entire life, I already got my own racket, which means I'm about to kick some you-know-what. So come on out and support. Be there. We'll all watch college ball games together, and we are going to win.
Ask Geeter. Geeter from Spectrum Sportsnet. Remember that time Geeter asked Slee about Ask Slee? And Slee got all mad? We'll never forget it. Anyway, Ask Geeter, presented by our friends at Harrah's Resort SoCal. Find your funner state of mind with a visit to Harrah's Resort SoCal. Voted best resort in funner California. From dining to unwinding, you'll find fun around every corner. Learn more at harrahssocal.com. Let's do it. Time for Ask Geeter.
Yeah, this would be the point where I would typically have to explain what Ask Slee might be.
No, this is what you guys started.
I don't have to do it.
Okay,
with,
as
with
an
Geeter.
example, Friday was at Spectrum. Geeter wasn't even there. Brez asked and Ask Slee.
Perfect.
I'm like,
Good.
this is...
My work is done here.
Yeah,
I
your
feel
work
like
is
I created this.
Final Ask Lee. Ready?
How you feeling this morning, Geeter?
I feel great, Travis. I feel like you were the originator with Ask Lee, and I really helped build the bridge to the people.
You're a board member.
Indeed. He's absolutely on the board. When you are the... If I'm the one that created Ask Lee, you're the one that put it on TV. So you are a charter member of the Ask Lee.
Travis, I remember the first time he came on when you guys were doing it, and you and I were texting, and I just hammered him with Ask Lee during the show, and he had no idea what was going on.
No idea. I was like, "Am I back on the Travis and Sliwa show?"
I get the text from him like, "Well, this is good. Just flip over and check and see what's going on over there." You ready to do this, Geeter?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Lee about Travis's Bandon Dunes snow trip, but we can save that for another time. That was incredible.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Yeah, he went basically snowboarding with his driver.
The dream trip ruined.
It ruined, not quite, but it was the dream trip that was not what I was expecting. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, let's get going with Christopher Holmes writes, in a biopic about your life, Geeter, which actor plays you?
Chevy Chase, a young Chevy Chase, not the Chevy now. I'm talking 30-year-old Chevy from Caddyshack and Fletch. Okay,
is he tall enough? Because you're a tall man.
Now, yeah, you can go Leonardo if you want to go today.
That's pretty. That works. Does that work for you, Slee?
Yeah, that works.
Young Chevy as Geeter.
That's.
Yeah.
I like it because he's going pure personality and everything else. Just
no, that's not true. Because Chevy Chase, I think most people know this. That Geeter is you've heard this before, I'm sure. You're the only person in our business that everybody likes, right? There are people that like me and hate me. You're the person that everybody likes.
Pretty fair. Yeah,
pretty much everybody hates Chevy Chase that's ever met him.
That is so true. That is so true. Fine, I'll change it to Brad Pitt.
No, don't change it. I like Chevy Chase. That's a good one. 30-year-old.
The
that's
look
good.
is pretty good. All right, this is from Vin Scully's microphone, and he wants to know grilled or fried fish tacos.
Oh, that is so good. I'm going to say this. Fried is better tasting. I'm going grilled, though, because of my job, and I just like to be healthy. I'm sorry, that's just the truth. Fried tastes better, but I'm a grilled guy.
Yeah, if you could only eat one, it would have to be grilled because you'd like to live past the age of 60.
If you have to have one every morning and you're having a fried fish taco every morning, probably not a good game plan, Geeter. Probably not the best game plan. But
Slee, if I'm on an island and it's over in a month, I'm going fried.
Yeah, then you go fried. There we go.
But if you're on an island, I don't know if you have a fryer with you. You could do like some sashimi tacos.
Let him live his fantasy land with a fryer in the middle of an island.
The cartoons where it's just the guy with the long beard and the two palm trees in the middle of the ocean. On Geeter's Island, there's a fryer.
By the way, I love fish taco. I mean, I love a grilled fish taco. Put a little avo on there, a little pico. I mean, it's good time.
Oh, yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah. We're putting a squeeze of lime on there too, right?
Yeah, and a little cabbage.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. Here's one. What's worse, people giving you a nickname you don't like, or no one ever giving you a nickname? Hashtag Ask Geeter.
Oh, God, these are so good. You know what, man? Never getting a nickname is just kind of a bummer to go through life that way. Right?
For sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I mean, a nickname you don't like is a bummer, and you wear it, and it kills you inside. But at least it's thinking of you.
Well, and you can never let your buddies know that you hate it, because then it's going to stick forever. You can hear a nickname you don't like and just hope that it kind of goes away if you don't fight it. But if you say, guys, I'd really rather not, it's over at that point.
I have so many of those, and my buddies just text it to me all the time, and I just refuse to go down the path. I just pretend it doesn't bother me, but deep down, I want to I want to go nuts.
All right, Geeter, I have one. I didn't tweet at you, but I'm going to go ahead and just go one. Alan from Pasadena. I think it was 1994, Chris McGee won The Price is Right.
Oh, that's right. I've seen this
He won
on
the
YouTube.
showcase here. Other than like personal family stuff, all right, put all that to the side. I know you're married. I know you have kids. Put all that to the side.
Yep.
Has there been another moment other than winning the showcase that was as exciting as that moment in 1994? Maybe it's a Laker thing. Maybe it's a Laker championship thing. Maybe it's you getting the Spectrum. I have no idea. But that's a pretty damn special moment, and not too many people win the showcase.
Winning that car in 94 up to that point was definitely the greatest moment of my life. We partied hard that night. We thought I was a millionaire. I was not. I won the white Mercury Grand Marquis. But I will say this. You guys, 21 years later, the 20th anniversary of my Manhattan Beach six-man volleyball team, Team Fletch. We hadn't won a title in 9 years. We were getting older. It was our last run. We won it. We won the title, and I was literally carried off the beach. And that feeling right there topped The Price is Right.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Glory among your buddies
setup.
is always a good win right
There's
there.
nothing like it.
There's
Steve
nothing
Rogers,
like
nothing like it, dude.
Let's go to La Jolla for our next one. It's Ryan in La Jolla, and this you're going to like this one, Geeter. I'm having a new girl over tonight to hang out. She claims to have never seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Should I make her sit through it and get her feedback before I invite her over again?
Yes. Obviously, she's a little younger, and that's fine. But you need to see how she reacts, what she thinks is funny. Is she into Spicoli? Absolutely. You make her sit through it. We have a conversation. Because, listen, if you want to date this girl and have her over again, then, you want to be able to have some conversations and connect on some levels.
What if halfway through the movie she turns and goes, "This movie's stupid"? What do you do then?
It's going to...
That's when you just say, I don't think this is going to work out. I think you should probably go home.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, why don't you? I'm going to call you an Uber. I'm going to call you an Uber.
This is you got to pay attention here. This is weird. Okay.
Okay.
This is from Moy, and Moy writes, wolves.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Wolves instinctively know how to swim. So, if a person who doesn't know how to swim gets bitten by a wolf and turns into a werewolf, do they know how to swim?
Do they know how to swim? I know, Geeter, you probably were thinking that this one might come up, so go ahead.
Listen, I got an answer to this one. Number one, you should know how to swim. I'm a big water guy, and I believe that bodies of water create some of the greatest joys in life. Surfing in the ocean, swimming, lakes, rivers, to learn how to swim. But if you did not know how to swim and you got bit and became a werewolf, then yes, you would then know how to, because instinctively wolves know how to, and they can do superpower stuff. So yeah, you know how to swim.
Yeah.
But first of all, know how to swim. You got to. I'm sorry, people. There's joy out there.
You would be infected with wolf DNA, therefore you would know how to swim.
Technically, you know how to swim.
And by the way, you'd be dunking on people like Michael J. Fox. It'd be like Teen Wolf, but you'd be in the water like Kelly Slater.
Okay, I'm going to dealer's choice here for you, Geeter. Do you want a food-related one or an automobile-related one?
Let's go food.
Okay, food. Well, quasi-food. When you're in a Mexican restaurant, do you order in Spanish? Hashtag Ask Geeter.
Oh, well, I do spend a lot of time in Mexico, so I do my best to order in Spanish. It might turn out to be, I sometimes get heckled by my kids because there's like some English mixed in with my Spanish. But yes, I do try. But when I'm at a restaurant here in the States, in LA, I just go English, but I'll throw in a little por favor, a little gracias, amiga. I'll throw in some of that.
His order's just completely wrong.
Dos Pacificos. Yo tengo dos Pacificos.
Listen, when I'm in Mexico, I try hard.
All right, one more here. What's this from Darb in the OC? And Darb writes, what's the difference between all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All wheel means anything. Rain, sleet, snow. Four-wheeling means like you're like in the mountains and you got to go up a hill. You got to go four-wheeling. You're going over rough terrain.
You want one more?
We don't need those very often.
Yeah, one more. Let's go.
All right. I'm going to pronounce it both ways, and you tell me which way it is. This is the word crayon one syllable or two? Because you hear crayon and you hear crayon. Which are you?
Don't forget crown.
Crown, like on a king's head?
People say crown.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't heard that one.
Crayon. I go crayon. What do you do? What do you go, Geeter?
Well, I say, hey, hand me the crayons. But it is crayon. It's two.
But I say crayons too. Like, give me the red crayon.
Yeah. No, it's two.
Why do we all say it wrong?
I never say it like that.
You say crayon?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're weird.
You do?
I do. I don't know the last time I said crayon, but I don't know the last time I actually used that word.
All right, this is the
14
last
years
one.
ago.
I promise. 805 Raider, because this one involves Slee. It's kind of a combo. Ask Slee, ask Geeter.
Final ass sleep.
Final ask Slee.
Yo, Geeter, who would win in a no-holds-barred bare-knuckle cage match between Trudell and Slee?
Oh, right
Winner
down our
gets to
alley.
take over for Ireland when he's done.
First of all, I absolutely love that it came from a Raider fan because they're always ready to throw down. That is so perfect.
Right? When you think of Trudell and I, that's what you usually think of. Yeah, violence.
My friends and I have this conversation all the time. There's so many guys who want to get in the cage. Well, we're all old now. We'd probably get slaughtered. But I feel like, here's the deal. My first thought goes Trudell, college athlete, feisty, played soccer, loved the physicality. But there's something about Slee, like, remember how sneaky funny he is, like, Travis, when you didn't know him and all of a sudden you're like, dude, this guy's hilarious?
Yes.
Like, does he have sneaky anger in there we don't know about? Does he grapple? Does he, like, get on the mat? Does he, like, do, stuff on the side that we don't know? Like, he's working out? I don't know. Like, does he have cauliflower ears? I don't know. Like, I feel like I want to go Trudell, right? But I think Slee's got some weird things inside where it might come out and he could bury people.
I think that's good analysis. I think I'd go Slee.
Geeter, that's a very important role. I mean,
keep it
it's a very important role.
Geeter, good job today.
Well,
Thank you, bro.
You're both beating Ireland. So,
good deal. Thanks, Geeter. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you, brother.
Bye, guys.
You got it. Not too bad, Slee. Not too bad. All right. The Dodgers need a shortstop. They have some options in-house. Is that the best option? It's coming up next. It's Travis Slee.
At least you didn't eat it like Mace. You're good. Oh.
And ask Geeter. I mean, Slee was really excited. Haven't heard him that excited in a while. But staying on Slee, let's pull up Slee's Twitter. A recent tweet within the last few minutes. AD out for tonight. Damn. ... I don't want to play tonight. Travis and Sliwa continues right now.
He's hurt, Chris. Man's injured.
Where did Messi come in?
Again.
Yeah, Messi, that was.
Messi plays.
It was a little messy right there.
I mean, a little bit. Messi's higher. Messi gets more angry, and when he talks, he stomps his foot when he doesn't get what he wants. And why isn't AD playing? And he's got a foot injury, and I don't want to play against Oklahoma City. You can't make me. That's more Messi. Damn. A little bit higher.
Well, he's work in progress. Morales is work in progress.
He's workshopping it?
He's workshopping
like Tom Brady working on his comedy craft, which, by the way, I
do you hate it more as you get more info?
At first, when I first saw it yesterday, I'm like, okay, this is a put on. This is just something that somebody
it's a fugazi.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like maybe it is. It seems like maybe it's something he's toying around with. We can talk about that before too long. The AD thing is, I'm looking at the tweets that are coming along. That like your AD out damn tweet is. Are you surprised?
Yes,
you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're surprised that Anthony Davis is missing a basketball game.
I am. I'm surprised. Nothing happened yesterday where I thought he was going to miss today. Nothing. No post game comment.
I'm waiting for the punchline. I'm
no
waiting for the part.
No post game comment yesterday would have led me to believe that he's not playing today. Everything about how big this game is against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm surprised that he's not playing tonight. I am.
I'm flabbergasted.
It's fine, but I am.
I just don't understand how a guy that basically doesn't play as often as he does not playing.
Did anything happen yesterday?
Yes, he fell on the ground and grabbed his foot.
No, nothing happened yesterday.
Al, he fell on the ground and grabbed his foot.
I know, but there was nothing that would have indicated.
Well, he always does that, though.
But that's that's the whole point.
There's a little bit of
that's
that where that's
point.
not shocking that he's grabbing something.
But that's the whole point, that he falls down, he grabs his limbs, and then he misses games. This is the Anthony Davis experience is, I fall down, I grab my limbs, and occasionally I'm good. That's the Anthony Davis experience. I mean, that was when it came across. It's disappointing, but it's not surprising.
It was surprising to me. Still is.
Really?
Absolutely, 100% it is. I did not think.
I'm shocked that you're shocked.
Well, you
know what I mean? Like I'm disappointed.
I'll tell you why. I think I'm surprised more because of, again, I'm going to go back to the circumstances. I'm going to go back to post game. Nothing really led to, hey, he might not be able to go tomorrow. It wasn't talked about at all. It was, hey, this is such a big win against.
His entire career has led to this. His entire career of the Lakers has led to him not wanting to
No, it's not that he doesn't want to. I think we need to be very careful about how we characterize this. It's that he's not. I don't want to assign motive to any of this.
Right.
It's he's not playing.
Yeah.
If you told me today that he's done for the season, I'd be bummed, but I wouldn't be like, oh, I can't believe it. There's nothing health related with Anthony Davis that would surprise me, I guess is what I'm getting at.
It's the AD experience at this point.
It's the whole experience.
Listen, I get it. I everything you're saying, I can't really argue with.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, based off of how yesterday went, based off of the post game, based off of the interviews, based off of everybody talking about this is a big game against Oklahoma City Thunder, thought he was playing tonight. That's all.
So
thought he was playing tonight.
If I'm trying to find like a crossover here, if I just called in tonight and told Greg, hey, I'm sick, I'm not coming in, like, well, Trav didn't say anything. I'm shocked. I have to kind of, and this is a bad example. I'm trying to come up with a better example.
Can I give you a better example to stay off that?
Sure.
Is if yesterday you were saying, man, I'm really not feeling that good. And that was it. That's all I heard. So then I heard a little bit, and then I knew that, and then if I heard then the next day.
I've got it.
Yeah.
I've got it. I come to, if I'm taking time off, it's 99% of the time because I'm scheduled off and it's happening. Mason just kind of gets sick occasionally. If Mason didn't show up today, would you be surprised? Because Anthony Davis is Mason in this situation, where he sometimes gets sick and doesn't show up. And it's not surprising, right? It's just kind of the Mason/AD experience.
Let me give you an example. Let's say Mason yesterday said, man, we have such a big show coming up tomorrow.
Even then.
We have a really big show coming up tomorrow. There's a lot riding on this show tomorrow. Everybody's expecting this show to be one of the best shows, and then
you
I
show
find
up,
out in the morning.
It's Yates sitting here. You'd be like, "Yeah, that tracks." You know I'm right. You know I'm right.
Or Travis, like you
That's
pushing
a good.
through.
That's a good example.
Yeah,
that's
I'm right.
That's a better example. I just. I'm surprised that he's not going tonight.
And Trav, you're LeBron pushing through something like when you pushed through having no voice. And everyone's
That's
like, hey,
right.
maybe Trav should have taken a
Maybe
day off.
I
here and
should
there.
have come out of the game that day. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to.
Why were you playing
muscle
so
through.
much?
Listen, you don't need your voice for a 3-hour, 12-minute
Radio
Well,
show.
it turns out that you do, because that day was I didn't sound my best, but I made it back, and who knows? Maybe I'll re-aggravate it post pickleball, right? Where I'm not going to be able to do it. And
What happened to
gotta take
Trav?
some time.
Pickleball took his voice out.
Pickleball knocked.
He
his
was
voice
yelling
out.
at me so much.
Oh my gosh, it's so on brand for Anthony Davis. If you're just getting in your car and you don't know what we're talking about, Anthony Davis is not going to play tonight.
Yep.
He has a foot injury that either happened last night, was flared up again last night, that maybe he tripped over a chair in the locker. I don't know. It's a foot injury, and he's not going to play tonight. We know LeBron's not going to play tonight. We know D'Angelo Russell's not going to play tonight. And
we know it's a desperation type of game
against
as all
an
of them.
opponent that with Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell, and certainly with all three of those guys that I just mentioned, you would expect to beat them. But it is an opponent that always seems to give them. Remember last year we kept saying they were losing to Oklahoma City. Well, they lose to Oklahoma City the night LeBron broke the record. It was a great night for LeBron. They lost to Oklahoma
Thunder is
City.
the '96 Bulls when they play the Lakers.
They look like a different team.
Can I ask you a question?
I guess.
Are we just doing this experiment with the Lakers? And
which experiment?
Is there just like a delusional side of being a Laker fan? Where
yes.
we just
you don't need to add anything else. Yes.
Where we just keep chasing our tail and playing because if I'd have told you Monday we walked in here, and I did feel like there was actual real optimism.
I did too.
And I did actually feel like, hey, this team, since the trade deadline, you know what? I actually think they're going to grab one of those playoff spots. Worst case scenario, playing tournament. Okay, then Braun goes down. Mm-hmm. Then I start selling myself on, okay, well, you got to have D'Angelo. I kept saying that, and I do believe that. D'Angelo is very, very critical, very important that he's got to be there.
Even more so now.
Yep, even more so now. And then the Lakers lost yesterday. Not a surprise there. But AD missing tonight's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, is that just like a perfect example of what the hell am I? Why do I keep playing this game in my head?
Yeah, I think it is, honestly, because I want to go back to where you started the question. On Monday, coming off the Dallas win, on Monday, it wasn't, to use your word, it wasn't delusional to be optimistic because they beat a team that we think is pretty good. They're struggling. The Mavs are in a weird spot right now, but put that aside for a second.
Lost yesterday at home to the Pacers.
They're 1-4 with Luka and Kyrie together, oddly enough. It wasn't delusional to see them go on the road in a tough environment, beat a team with two very good players, and come back from a huge deficit and think, you know what? The new guys they've got have made them better. Their two stars played really well when they needed to do it. Optimism was not delusional, but it was a little bit of blinders, right? And I think there's a difference because the blinders were, we were presupposing at that point that both Anthony Davis and LeBron James were going to be here for the rest of it.
Yep.
Turns out it literally didn't even last one more game before LeBron goes down. 2 more games, LeBron and AD are both down. D'Angelo still hasn't come back.
Yeah.
So it's more a little myopic and narrow-sighted as far as thinking that if the thing that has continued to happen stops happening, we have a chance. I kind of violated my own rule, right? I expected something that has been happening over and over again to stop happening, and it continued to happen, and here we are. So it's not delusional, but it is, I think at this point, it's kind of, foolish might be a too strong of a word, but I think it's really difficult to envision a path for this team as currently constructed with the injury bug that they've had to expect something exciting to happen.
I think it's just hitting me right now. Because if I could have sold myself, this is thinking AD was going to play today, just beat the Thunder, D'Angelo's probably going to come back on Friday. You got some games here in front of you that are key games, but you got, I think, some interesting pieces there to make it work. I think what I'm saying is, am I just delusional? why do I keep looking at the NBA standings? Why do I keep looking at seeing at what some of these other teams are doing? And if AD's not playing in this important of a game, I'm going to assume then he's got something.
Sure.
Right? Like, I don't think this is one of those, because they had talked about this.
I don't either.
They had talked about this coming back from the All-Star break. I think there was 3 back-to-backs left on the season, 23 games left, and they pretty much were saying, yeah, we got to play in all these. This is not like it was, a couple months ago. There's got to be something if AD is not playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder in this desperate of a situation.
I don't mean this to be insensitive or callous. It doesn't matter which of the two things it is. It doesn't matter. He's not playing. Mm-hmm. Right? It doesn't matter if this is a little, nagging injury that maybe just needs a day to simmer down.
Sure.
And it doesn't matter if something more significant. It doesn't matter.
Because then it could happen again easily in 2 games.
That's not the point I was trying to get at, but yes, it's more just he's not playing tonight. Why he's not playing is almost irrelevant. Mm-hmm. When they get going to play against Minnesota here in a couple of nights, then it is, if he's playing, great. If he's not, then it doesn't matter why he's not playing. He's just not there. And that's that to me is the part that I keep coming back to, that I let myself take my eye off the ball for a second. That why did you ever think that this wasn't going to happen? Not you, but I'm talking to myself right now. Why did you think that despite 2 years of him missing basically half the time, that he would go
I wore off on you.
A month and a half of not playing half the time? Of course he's going to play half. It's what he does. He falls down, he grabs his limbs, and he misses games. And when he's there, he's usually pretty good. But he's not going to be there tonight. And they got 20 games to go, and they're 4 games under 500, and they're outside of the line. And they're
Turn his mic off, please.
And their 3 best players are unavailable. It sucks. It just really sucks.
No, I know. I just had a aha moment, and that's why I had to share that with you. Yeah. I just had like a moment where I'm just saying to myself.
Was it that you find that you were surprised and everybody looked at you like you had frogs on your face? Was that the moment?
No, I am surprised he's not going tonight.
I know you are. I don't know why you are, but I believe that you are.
I'm surprised he's not going tonight, but I think it's the not going tonight that is the, what the hell?
Yeah.
You're almost like chasing something in your own head that something's. This is a perfect example of a dog chasing his own tail.
I got one for you. So let's put tonight aside. Let's put the remaining 20 games kind of in a separate pocket for now.
Let's talk about the Kings.
Kind of pull out a little the Jonathan Quickless Kings. They traded him last night. Did you see that?
Did not. I was talking about
two-time Stanley Cup champion goalie Jonathan Quick, one of the all-time great Kings, gone. There's your hockey talk for the day. He's gone. The other Kings, that's you and Taylor can talk about
Patrick
that.
Kane, too.
Patrick Kane got traded, too. Yes, he also got traded to the Rangers. You didn't think I knew that, Emily, but I'm abreast of all things that are on the ESPN ticker. Beyond that, I don't got a lot
Caps just got a second-round draft pick.
Yep, yeah, I like that spot, too, where they are right now in their blue line. I think that they really got some
Couldn't agree more.
We'll talk about what it means, a little bit bigger picture. Plus, I want to talk Dodgers shortstop. Where do you go from here? It's coming up. It's Travis Slee, Surprise Slee, on 7.
is legendary, and that audio will live forever. Well done, Trav. Coming up in just a few minutes. She's not like AD or like Mace. She's here every day giving us Factor Cap. Factor Cap with producer Emily coming up in just a few minutes around 11:30. Right here on Travis and Sliwa.
To continue this comparison, Emily's like AC Green. She just comes to work every day, does a good job, keeps it moving, comes back the next day,
Iron
does
Woman.
a good job. Yeah. She's the AC Green of Travis and Sliwa.
I will take a day off next week, so surprise,
Well,
surprise.
no, then take it off. The label's gone.
She's basically, who was the guy that came in and made the threes where he was like 35 years old from the G League?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Andre something. Ingram. It's something Ingram.
Yeah, it was
Andre Ingram.
I think it might be Andre Ingram. Came in.
What else do you want to know, Slim? I don't know why I know that. Yeah, now you've gone from AC Green, Laker legend, to trivia.
Damn, that
answer
went
to a
fast.
Trivia question. Remember,
From
like, where's this guy been?
AC to Ingram?
And then the next night he made, what, one? It's like, yeah, well, I mean, there's a
bench him.
It's a cool story. Where are you going?
So my friend is in town, and so she's going to be hiking all of Catalina next week. So she's going to do
Like
the
from one end to the
perimeter
other?
of
That's awesome.
Catalina. So it's like her long birthday trip.
What do you know? That's got to be 50 miles at least.
Something like that. She's doing like 10 miles a day.
Ask Chin. He runs it like every
He
other
does.
weekend.
I think they do. Isn't that they do like a marathon there or something like that?
It's like literally from one end of the island to the other.
Yeah, so she's doing that over the week, and I'm going to meet her on Friday.
In Catalina?
In Catalina.
Oh, that's
Going to
great.
spend the day in Catalina on Friday and Saturday. And head back
Are
on
you
Sunday.
pro Catalina, Slee?
Oh, yeah.
Are
I
you
like
really?
Catalina. I've gone a few times.
I haven't been.
Part of my... Now, I haven't used it in years. Part of that scuba certification was
Oh, that's
all
right.
in Catalina.
The Garibaldis, those little orange fish that are all over the place.
There's huge bass out there,
Are
too.
there?
Yeah. And then I've done it. Have you ever done so what she's talking about, you got, I think the island, 2% of it is where all the people are, the houses are, everything else.
Yeah.
98% of it is
untouched.
So you could do those backcountry tours,
Oh, I haven't done
whatever.
that.
It's amazing. It's awesome.
I've only been I'm
pro
an
Catalina,
LA
put it that way.
native and been here the vast majority of my life. I've only been once, and I feel like I never need to go back.
The Catalina wine.
How long ago was it?
3-4 years, right before COVID.
Okay.
It was pre-COVID, so I don't know, 40
Well,
years.
she did for like only 48 hours. It's not going to be like a long time that I'm out.
We got off the boat and we went and had drinks and had dinner and had a nice night. Spent the night in a hotel. Kind of saw what there is to see around there. And we popped out, and I feel like I'm not like the backwoods outdoorsman.
I was
going to
say the backcountry is where it's kind of all.
That could be cool. We did swim in that little cove with all the Garibaldi, not scuba, but I saw a couple. They're very orange.
Got to get back out there. For you,
Hopefully it's not snowing.
Do you use Catalina
Hopefully not.
Island as, like, we talk about, have you ever been, when's the last time you've been out of the country and this and that? I want you to tell
1989.
people Catalina as if it's just in a completely different continent.
It does feel like you're away.
Yeah, it does.
It
For a
does,
quick second.
But it's an hour boat.
Yeah, and then
you can drink beers on the boat.
cars in Long Beach. You're like, how far could I really be away?
Yeah, it does. Like, you can still get a call and feel like if something happened, I could be home in an hour and a half. Like, it doesn't. Like in Hawaii, it's like I'll be there in a couple of days, I guess. But it's
that's pretty funny.
It's a whole nother thing. Don't forget, our pickleball tournament is coming up this month, March 18th, 10 to 4, Agape Pickleball Center at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. There are reserved seats available. You need to register at ESPNLA.com. It, of course, is open to everybody that would like to come out, hang out, press the flesh, get to know everybody, have a couple of drinks. Big thanks to our pals at Michelob Ultra, Big Bud Light Seltzer, and Pizza Hut, among many, many more. There's TVs to watch all the college basketball that'll be going on, Pop-A-Shot, pickleball demos, Kids Zone, beer garden, complimentary food and drinks. There's a DJ, there's entertainment, there's prizes, there's a photo booth. You will have a great time. So coming out to our pickleball tournament, which is coming up 17 days, Al, just around the corner.
So we'll have 2 practice sessions in before I think we go.
Well,
because I'm doing 2 Thursdays.
We'll have one.
We'll have one.
We should probably get a second one in there at some point.
All right, we can make that happen.
Yeah,
we might make that happen.
I think we should try to find
We got Thursday next week, and then the following week we should do one more leading into it. The only thing is you've said that when you have played, you're out 3 to 6 weeks. So I don't think we give ourselves. I don't think we give ourselves a runway there.
I show up once and then I'm down for the count. Let's
that
say
week that they're doing it.
Let's say we lose to a listener team, right?
Okay.
That plays pickleball. No shame in that, right?
Yeah.
That they're pickleball people and they clean our clocks. Whatever. I can live with it. If we lose to somebody here, even if it's a good team, let's say it's Farr and Kirk.
Yeah.
Okay, probably the favorites going into this. I don't want to be one and done if our one is against another ESPNLA team.
Do we have an idea if it is? Is it all just single elimination?
I don't know the draw.
You're out.
I don't know the draw. It can't be double. We'll be there for a month and a half.
I mean, is there a playing tournament? I mean, is there?
We just got to be in the bottom 7, and we got a chance to work our way back into the field.
DeMarco and Kirk, are they the Denver Nuggets and we're the Thunder?
We're more like the Spurs. I got bad news. I'm not good at this game. Okay, I'm
We've
not
lost
good at
16
this.
in a row, but we got an upset yesterday.
Good analogies today. Analogies everywhere.
Emily, it's what I do. It's what I do. Most of them stink, but every once in a while I'll get them. By the way, how impressed were you that I knew that Patrick Kane got traded?
I wasn't that impressed. I thought you knew it. I mean, you're the
well,
hockey
here's
guy.
the why.
Like
I do like hockey.
You like hockey. So that's the one thing that
Ducks won 3 in a row. Beat the Blackhawks the other night 4-3.
Are you watching full games?
Yeah.
Full.
I watch Ducks games. Yes, Michael is a huge Ducks fan. I'm a Duck fan. So when the Ducks are on and we're both home, we will watch the Ducks. We're going to see the Blues. Yeah, the Blues.
Do you give anybody a dirty look when you see them in a Kings hat on?
No, but I know that Kings fans hate the Ducks. I know that's true.
Okay.
Do the Blues still play Gloria?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good goal scoring. That was the year that they won the cup in, I want to say, 2019. They had Gloria.
Fairly recently.
They went from like the worst team in the league to the best team. Obviously won.
That happens in hockey occasionally.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of that going on. The 8th seeded team can win the cup occasionally. Kings did it from the 8th seed at one point. This tweet from Anthony Rincon, another Trav and Slee community #1 listener. Trade AD, man. The Lakers will eventually have to pay 3-star players just to only have 2 available in any given season. Sorry, guys. He's a great player. He's had a great career. The Lakers got to move on. I think this is the #1 question on if there's a Laker war room somewhere and they're listing their priorities, both short-term and long-term, the #1 priority in the long term is what are we doing with Anthony Davis? How much are we invested in him as the future of this team? Because Anthony's suggestion you have to trade him. What would you get for him at this point, knowing what you know he's put up for the last 2 years? I don't think there's another team dying to get their hands on a guy that plays half the games.
I think teams would line up to try to get him, but you're right about the – listen, AD's the biggest question about Anthony Davis comes down to one thing. Sure. I think you and I can complain about how he plays and how did he only have 5 shot attempts, 10 shots, but that never really is the standout to me for Anthony Davis.
I agree with
you. Are you available or are you not available? Because he can impact the game on the defensive side. He could do things that most other players can't. We talked about this yesterday. Get him out of that conversation. That conversation's been long gone. The Joker and Embiid and all these guys. That's been a part.
Yep.
But the difference between him and a lot of these other players, they're on the floor every night, and that is. You play 82 games a year. Mm-hmm. So if you're there for 41 of them, 45 of them, in some cases the last 2 seasons, 50% of the games, your value is a lot less just simply for the fact that you're not there. To go back to your question, what can you get for him? Listen, teams will be lining up to get him. The question is just going to be the question mark of how many games he's going to play. He's not going to get older and probably play more.
He would be people would want him, but you're talking, it's not just do people want him. Of course they do, but what are they willing to give you for him? Something's only worth what somebody else is willing to pay for it, right? Like this idea of, well, my house is worth, $800,000. Well, is it? Have you tried to sell it? You don't know until you try to go do it. That's only part of the equation. The other part is, even if they decided not to do it, what do you have to put around him? This is the number one thing. Number one with a bullet on their future. We know what LeBron James's future is. Next year, I could probably tell you right now, LeBron James will average somewhere between 26 and 30 points a game, and he'll probably play somewhere between 50 and 60 games. I feel really good about that prediction with LeBron James.
Can't you make that same prediction for AD?
No, I can't.
You can't say, can I give you... Well, I'll tell... Okay, this is what I meant. Can't you predict Anthony Davis? Because I could predict Anthony Davis will probably play between 40 to 50 games next year.
Yeah.
And he'll probably give you 27 and 11 a night, somewhere around there.
The difference
I can predict
is
that.
One guy's 30, the other guy's 40, and the younger guy, Anthony Davis,
is playing less games.
If I told you right now that he played 33 games next year, you wouldn't be like, no way. You'd be like, oh, man, that really sucks.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be no way.
He's 29.
Right?
He's about to be 30.
I get it. I get the idea of hit the detonator, blow it up, and start over. This is, when Ireland came in here screaming his head off, the star-driven town. Great. What if the star never plays?
Yeah.
What if the star is very unreliable? What is that a star that you have to have? I don't know. And this is the decision that Jeannie and Rob and everyone else that's part of the decision-making process has to make.
We did this.
It's a really tough call.
We did this yesterday. We were kind of playing the experiment of, hey, what a kind of interesting 20 games left on the year. You're going to find out about these role players. You're going to find out about Anthony Davis. Hey, if LeBron James is not there, what is that going to look like? Took one game, and AD's not playing tonight.
We got a cold bucket of water.
Yeah.
It was a cold bucket of reality right over here. Like, you guys were really thinking about the future? Okay, how about he plays one game before he shuts it down again? That's what we ultimately ended up getting. Factor Cap with AC Green coming up next. It's Trav and Slee on 710.
At least you didn't eat it like Mace. You're good.
Here each weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's time for Factor Cap.
Oh, that's Cap.
That's so Cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys, we got A Brown in the house for some Factor Cap for today. I'm very humbled by the compliment of being compared to AC Green. So
You should be. AC was one of the all-time Lakers.
There you go, yeah.
Iron Man, don't.
And a good dude. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at least that's something that hang my hat on.
Put it on your resume.
What's Sliwa doing? Rubbing around the hole?
I don't know.
I think he's still trying to wrap
gonna
his
be
head
into
around the
that.
fact that AD's not going to play tonight. He's still
He's in the bathroom crying.
Just shocked.
Crying.
Or maybe he's doing another one-liner in the bathroom. Like remember yesterday where he went out.
He
and
was
had
so
a little,
pleased with himself too. It was a
little
good line.
comedy
It was a
routine.
good line.
I think Sliwa's about to call out sick because AD's out.
Here he comes.
All right.
Hurry
so
up, Al.
I'm
We're
gonna
stalling. We're buying you some time here, buddy.
I'm turning it
Or
off.
we're
and
just making fun of you.
So we were talking about Slee watching Your Honor, watching a little bit of The Bear. Obviously didn't finish either of these shows in like one sitting, but I've finished a show or a season at least in a sitting. So you have a show that you've actually binged and finished in one sitting. Trav, Factor Cap.
No, Cap. We've talked about this in a handful of. I'm good. For instance, right now, Susan and I are watching Yellowstone. We're getting caught up on
yes.
Yellowstone.
So good.
Okay,
Yes.
it's great. I love it.
So good.
I really enjoy it. We watch it on Fridays and Saturdays because we like to have a little wine and just chill
Yeah.
out and
Yep.
watch it. And
Till
we're
you
good.
pass out. Yep.
We're good for. Kind of.
Two's the max.
Kind of.
Hey, what's that?
Two's the max.
Two is the max. Like Susan was always arguing, let's watch a third. I'm like, it's 10:30. I'm going to bed. Like this is it for me. I can't. I can barely get through the end of the second one before I'm getting a little antsy. So no, I've never done that.
Amanda?
I think that's. I don't think I've ever been able to do that. I think that's cap. I mean, I've been close. Like I could do probably like 4 max. Mm-hmm. But after that, no.
Al?
I'm with T-Raj on this one. 2 is my limit. 2 hours is a full movie.
Long time.
Unless it's Babylon.
So 2
or
hours.
The Godfather.
That's true. That's true. 2 hours is basically, I don't want to watch TV or something after a movie. Yeah. Right? So let's say I sit through a whole movie. I don't want to go home and watch another movie or
maybe
sit
Your
down.
Honor might change your tune.
Maybe Your Honor might change it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it
but
will.
I think part of it too, in a weird way, I kind of like stretching it out a little bit. Like I like kind of looking forward to. Okay, I got that episode coming up, so there's a little bit of that as well.
Taylor?
Cap. Nobody's got the concentration or time.
Not nobody. I know somebody.
So you guys would be surprised to hear that I've only actually done it once. Finished an entire
episodes?
season
Cap.
in one setting.
What show was it?
It's 8 episodes.
Hour or half hour?
Hour.
Ooh.
I started it way
8
too
hours?
late.
Like a
I
school
started
day.
at like 8 p.m.
Oh.
And then went through the morning because it was that good to me.
What was the show?
Stranger Things. The very first season. The very first season before any hype. I was one of the first, and not me, but like it was one of the first few weeks it was out or whatever.
Yeah,
and
but
I heard
also,
someone
how
talking about
old
it.
were you? See, we're old.
I know. I was in college still.
There's a big age difference between you and us.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I think that also applies.
I think I was 19.
Yeah, see.
So it was.
But I
it
think
was,
some people, I think that's a thing. I think there's some people that just binge watch and they just
to
keep
do a
going.
whole season
not
is
8,
really hard.
Not 8,
Yeah.
but like 4 episodes. I don't
That's
think
not a
that's
binge.
unheard of for people to be
I've
going
done
through
4.
4
I've
episodes,
done 4 hours,
stuff like
on
that.
a weekend. Like,
Oh, it's a lot. I'm with you. It's a lot.
Like you
when
know
it's
how
raining though, like the last couple weekends.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot more television than I normally.
And you
watch
probably
on
take a
weekends.
break. Like you watch 2 episodes,
Yes.
you do
Yes.
something for a
And
couple of
then-
hours, you
yes.
come back and you're like,
I
bam,
have
put it on
watched
again.
4 hours of TV in a day. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but it's like
That was
you
one
watch-
baseball game
You
before
watch
the
a football
Yeah.
game, and then the next one starts. There's 6,
Right.
and then the one that's coming up at night. There's 9 hours of TV in one day. So, but if you were trying to torture Travis Rogers, okay, it's not waterboarding, it's not sleep deprivation. It's making me watch more than 8 minutes of Stranger Things, much less 8 hours.
It's okay. I'm not asking you. I never.
I know. I'm
suggested it
just
to
saying
you.
that when you said that, I literally had like a chill go down
cringed?
my spine. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible.
I've seen all of
We
them.
should put them here. We should put
I
Stranger
also,
Things on this TV.
I also lied. I actually did watch
Oh,
a
there's
whole
another one.
season 2 weekends ago, but it's a BBC show, so it's only like
They're short.
6 20-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it wasn't
that's-
like it was that bad. So I didn't count it, but it's
Nah.
called Kunk on Earth. It's hilarious. It's this woman that does like essentially it's like a satire BBC documentary, and she just like it's has some of the best one-liners I've seen on TV in a long time, called Kunk on Earth. So if you're interested, it's really good. All right, so this is an old debate that we've had on the show, I feel like several times, but I just wanted to, I don't know, I wanted to stoke the fire again and ask it again. Because I remember
Pandora.
when I was applying for this job, I was interviewing for this job, I was listening to SLK back in the day, and they had this debate. So, you have to return your carts when shopping at the grocery store. You have to return it back either inside the store or to one of the banks in your parking lot. So you have to return the cart. Amanda, Patrick Cap.
Oh, this is definitely fact. And I've kind of always done this, but I'm even more cognizant of it because I know that there are people out there filming other people trying to attack them. So I'm always afraid that I'm going to be that one person
Caught
in the
up.
parking lot that this guy runs behind me and is like, why don't you return your cart? And then I'm like, oh,
Go
dang.
viral.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because there are those people. I went down a rabbit hole one day. I think it was on Instagram or something. And it was this guy that was literally doing that to people. And I'm like,
Was it joking around or he was being...
no, he gets it. I mean, I'm sure it is, but he gets in their face. It's like, why do you return your cart?
Jesus.
Al?
I'm fact on this one, too. More than anything else, I think there's... How many times have you tried to pull into a parking spot?
Oh, yeah.
And then the cart is just up
the
on
way.
the curb?
It was open for a reason.
And you
yeah.
can't get in there. So now I'm like sitting here, I'm saying to myself, all right, I could move that cart, I could do it, the whole thing, try to get this parking spot, but it's more, how many spots are available right now that nobody could get in because of your cart? If you look, this isn't breaking news, at a grocery store parking lot, you're not too far from one of those little places
people are so freaking lazy.
that you can take your cart to. It's a simple thing to do. I take my cart. Yeah.
Laziness.
I put it away for two reasons. One that Al just said, right? That no matter where you're parked in that parking lot,
not far.
It's a 15-second walk
Yes.
to wherever the cart is. So round trip, it's a 30-second thing. Put your cart away. I'm also a decent citizen of the world. In other words, I follow the basic rules that make society run, like putting your cart away.
And don't litter.
Don't litter.
Yes.
Keep your shoes on an airplane. Like just the really simple things that we all can kind of agree on that we've kind of lost track of.
Yeah.
That guys come on an airplane, I'm just going to kick my shoes off and cross my legs and your foot's 6 inches from my face. It's like, what are we doing here? Put your carts away.
Taylor gives a running start, just lets it go,
I do
and
that.
walks away.
I've done that before.
that.
I've
Yeah.
totally
Walks
done that
away.
before.
But if you miss, you got to go put it back.
No, somebody
I
else grab the
also
rebound.
ride the cart sometimes.
Oh, I do
like
that.
I push
I can't.
off and
I do that. Yeah.
and ride it.
Take a little
And have good
glide.
balance. Taylor?
Right. If you're strong enough to push it around for 25 minutes in the grocery store, you're strong enough to, put it in the cart corral. It's a degenerate move to not do that.
What about if you see someone pulling in, like walking into the store, do you offer your empty cart to them or do you go put it away?
Yes. I always, if there's somebody waiting for a cart, I pull out a cart and give it to them.
Or even if they're
first.
not
Do you
waiting,
not
they're
want
just
to do
walking
that
in.
little sanitary wipe? And
Oh, I do that.
Yeah, like if somebody said, "Hey, you want my cart?" I'm like, "I'm good. I'll go grab one up there next to the baby wipes." And
By the
wipe
way,
it
those
down.
days are all over, where they used to have somebody
They still
sanitize
have
all
them
that
at my
stuff.
spot.
Oh no, mine has
Somebody
mine
is
ha-
sanitizing?
No,
They
no.
have the
They
station
wipes
there
where
to-
you
yeah.
do
where
it
you pull one
yourself.
out and
Yeah.
give it a quick wipe down.
Yeah.
Before it was like, don't touch that cart.
Hazmat suits.
Yeah, but you know what's funny?
Yeah.
If you really think about it, even prior to COVID, those things were nasty.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
I mean, it's always going to be nasty. I don't think that wipe's really doing that
Makes
much
me feel
to
better.
really help
Makes
you,
me
but-
feel better.
Yeah, I think
Mentally.
it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
All right, so there's been a couple of videos going around of DoorDash drivers getting a little upset that people are not tipping because there have been increased fees. It's just become a little more expensive to go and shop doing DoorDash or Grubhub, all those good stuff.
Inflation.
So, if you do not tip your DoorDash driver is allowed to eat some of your food. All right, Al, fat or cap?
Definitely cap. You can't touch my food. Okay. First
And
off,
tip.
I'm the one that has only used it once. I think it was DoorDash. I think it was the one that I signed up for. That's when I got the Thai food
Yeah.
delivered to one Thai
yes,
restaurant. So that's the
yes.
only time that
Such a
I've
great
still used it. Still one of my favorite stories to
It's
this day.
good.
Every time I drive by, I'm like, I delivered Thai food to that place. Listen, some people are not going to leave good tips. That's just how it goes, right? And
This is zero tip. This is not a bad tip. This is a zero tip. No tip at all.
Okay, so we've also live in a world now too where this just actually started happening at Starbucks. At Starbucks, I don't know if Mace is looking at the Thai restaurant or I can't.
May he's talking about. I think the comparison between him and
Yeah,
AD.
we'll do it during Supercross.
How
talk.
they're both soft.
I feel like
He's
I'm
not
on-
happy.
I feel like I'm spot
He's not
on.
happy. So this happens now at Starbucks. Anytime you put your credit card in, it's asking you, do you want to leave a tip? We are now in the world of everyone is looking for a tip. And you don't have to. You can say no, thank you. That's one of the options there.
Do you
But
use
that's
to
just-
tip delivery drivers? Like if someone delivered a pizza to your home,
I would definitely tip. But I think the point I'm making is we live in a world where everywhere you go, there's an option for a tip. You should be tipping something like that. DoorDash, Instacart, like any of those that are coming to your house.
restaurant and picking up something for you
Yes,
and bringing it
you
to
should
you so
be.
you don't have to
But
do it.
if you don't tip, you are not allowed to
No, I agree.
go into my food and grab some of my food.
Trev.
So I don't use those services very often. I use it slightly more than Al does, but
When you
not-
go tie to tie,
I haven't had that experience yet. But if I do it once a month, it's a lot. So I always tip those people because they're doing a job that, in my opinion, is worthy of being tipped. But you can tip after, right? You don't have to tip as you order it because if I
like
order
Uber, you
Right,
could tip at, or you
right,
usually
that's
tip
my
after,
understanding.
yeah.
But again, I'm saying this as somebody that doesn't use them
So
a ton.
in this video, the guy knocks on the door and he says, "Hey, is there a cash tip?" The person ignores that.
Oh, that's not cool. No, if somebody's driving around bringing you food, that's worthy of a $5 tip or whatever the number is that you feel comfortable with. But
Yeah.
I want to kind of spin this and get your guys' thoughts on this because I had a long back and forth with a group of my buddies. Do you tip the maid when you stay at a hotel?
Hotel.
It depends. Like, so
You're there for 3 or 4
well,
nights.
here's
Do you
the
leave
thing.
the maid a
Yes,
tip?
4 or 5 nights. Yes, but
I have not typically done that at a hotel.
when I go to for a shorter stay, I don't like my bed made.
Okay.
Like, I'm someone that moves when I sleep, and so I like my stuff untucked. So I don't want to have to get in bed every night and yank those puppies out.
Fight with the sheets.
If I'm staying for 4 days or longer, yes, they come in, they make it fine. I'll tear it out again. But if they're not providing any service for me while I'm there, they're not coming and cleaning the room, then I won't. But if they are, then yes, I'll tip.
It's funny. I've tipped more in Airbnb, and I don't really know why, but I've definitely tipped more in an Airbnb than I have in a hotel.
I've never tipped in an Airbnb.
Do you guys, when you stay in a hotel, do you leave? And I'm not saying you're at the Ritz-Carlton. I'm saying you stay at the Quality Inn and Suites for one night, and do you leave $10
I'm
on
kind
the
of the same
desk?
way as Amanda, where if they did something for me during my stay, yes.
Taylor?
Yeah, only if I have a special request.
Yeah. I was kind of with all of you guys, and I was on an island. They're like, you're an animal. How do you not? These people are working hard. They're doing towels. They're cleaning your bathroom. They're doing all these things. I'm like,
yeah,
it's a pretty good case on why they deserve a tip, and now I leave a tip.
No, that's a good case. I think it's just not. I think it wasn't the case maybe in the past, or maybe people have always left tips at a hotel.
They bullied me into it.
Yeah.
That's
well, now literally everywhere you go, everyone now is, and I think you should leave it if you should, and if you don't want to leave, if I go get a cup of Starbucks,
and they spin it,
they spin it, and they're looking at you eye to eye. Not all of them, but do you leave a tip? Do you not? I think that's up to you. I don't think you have to leave a tip there.
At first, I was always a no, and now I'm always a yes because it just feels like you're on the spot, and I don't want to be the guy that won't throw in an extra $1.50.
Okay. Also, but about this,
like
my
a 60%
own answer.
tip on my $3 coffee.
Leave a quarter? That feels
no.
awful.
You can't. What are you going to point? You're like,
give you 39 cents. I've done the math. This is an 18%
No, you can't.
tip.
No,
It's
you can't.
39
So
cents.
at most of these DoorDash stuff, the bag will come with the sticker on it.
Yeah,
it'll say if it's been tampered with. Same thing with the water. So, but if it's a situation where there isn't that, I think the driver, if you 0 tip on that, I think the driver can take a few fries.
Oh,
can do that stuff.
Nothing gives the driver the right to touch your food.
But then also, I think it's a bad guy move, and it's a karma move on the
Take
people.
one slice of
get the
pizza.
thing.
Well, homie's going to get fired anyways because you're going to report it. So
Will they?
He's going to lose his job.
But it's one person. It's he said, she said.
Just open up one of the barbecue packets, have a chicken nugget, and leave it back in the bag.
Okay,
it's like the dad tax.
If you got exactly, if you got a thing of nuggets, okay, and you just open, were you going to count them? You could sneak a nugget out. No one would know
I
it's
count.
gone.
Like when I get my Wingstop, I count them.
Okay.
I do.
I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't stop to count them.
Because if I'm shorted, I'm going to be like, yo, I'm one wing short.
You just take one slice out and
give
you're
me-
moving
give
the
me my-
pieces.
No,
like
but I'm just picturing you open the box out and literally it's a full pizza minus one perfect slice. It's just gone. It's just like in an odd way.
And then next time you would tip.
Respect.
No, next time they would never use that service again.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Okay, DoorDash. Done
Yeah,
with
they're
that.
gone.
Delete the app from the phone. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to talk about what the Dodgers do with their shortstop problem. They've lost 3 very good ones in 2+ years. What's next? It's coming up. It's Travis Lee, 710.
All right, I'm talking to all 710 listeners right now. Let's start off with this. March 18th, it's a Saturday afternoon. Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. That is where I am about to teach everybody a little bit about pickleball. And the reason is because you see my father here is a world champion pickleball player. And while I have never played pickleball, not one time in my entire life, I already got my own racket, which means I'm about to kick some you-know-what. So come on out and support. Be there. We'll all watch college ball games together, and we are going to win.
So hearing that schedule that Chris just laid out right there.
Yeah.
Any TV in your future tonight? Because last night you blew me away. Did you watch 2+ hours of television Laker post-game show? I would have lost
By the
that
way,
bet
it's how
a million
fried I
times.
was. I was like, I want nothing else. Take me to a different world. I think actually 1 hour. I think Your Honor.
Is that good?
I go Your Honor tonight.
Okay.
1 hour is a. You know this.
He's going to be hosting a prestige TV podcast by the end of the month.
You know this from doing anything that's late or post game.
Yeah.
You don't go home and it's like, well, good night.
No.
That doesn't happen.
No.
It takes a second.
No.
So that's kind of like the perfect
Eat,
thing.
drink,
Yeah, I know.
TV.
I did the dumbest thing that you could do yesterday after our show. I had
Thought
about
AD would play tonight.
still surprised, still shocked. Shocked is too hard of a word. Surprised.
I think
We'll go
disappointment
surprised.
is the word.
Disappointed. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe disappointed takes over more, and this is where I have my Laker lens on. Let me give you what you shouldn't do after our show, and you have about an hour
Can I guess?
before you.
Did you go home after our show yesterday?
Did not go home.
Okay.
Did not go home.
Okay. Then it wasn't that.
Decided to go get lunch.
Okay.
You know,
Chinese?
you're thinking of might as well been. You're thinking of just let's get something light. Let's kind of keep. We've still got a long day to go, right? You still got the entire game that's coming up.
Sure.
Went to Chipotle.
Ooh.
Got
Hard
a
to go. Hard
burrito.
to go light at Chipotle.
Got a burrito.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you get the burrito. You go burrito or
Veggie?
bowl, right? You go burrito or bowl.
You went barbacoa.
I went carne asada.
Yeah.
Or I went steak
Yeah.
is I think what they have.
Yeah.
But I went. You know, you go burrito or you go bowl, and usually if you go burrito, then maybe you just don't throw rice in there and stuff. No, throw it in there. I did.
Beans too? Did you
Put-
triple carb?
Put some black beans in there as well. Go ahead and throw that in there. Guacamole, lob
Sure.
that thing in there as well. Let's just say I didn't when I was done. Which, by the way, I'm saying this all in the sense of you just probably don't want to have a big burrito before you have. That's not usually the game plan before you go for a full day after that.
I completely understand.
Walked
That a
in
big-
here, I'm like, what's happening here?
Big gut full of burrito.
Yeah.
You just want to lay down and close your eyes for
Yeah.
a few minutes.
It's
not
delicious, I'll tell you that.
Of course it was.
Really
It's a
good.
burrito.
It's
How
really
many
good.
bad burritos have you ever had in your
What's
life?
the thing with Chipotle where
They wrap them tight.
not even they tap. There's so much in there.
Yeah.
They got trouble wrapping it up. Like I see the guy's like shoulders and his elbows.
Looks like
He's
Dwight Howard.
He's repositioning his feet and he tries to get it down once. No, he didn't get that tortilla all the way down, so he's got to do it again.
Can I offer maybe?
I'm rooting him on too. I'm like, go.
This may be a controversial opinion, but I'm curious. I don't want my burrito overpacked. I want it to be securely closed. And if you overload it with too much stuff, and you can get that blowout or underneath, I don't like that. I want my thing fully enclosed.
This is the question that, and it's a fair question. If all of a sudden the burrito is coming apart while I'm eating it, I do not want that.
Right.
But if the burrito stays intact, even though it's
if
big,
it's overstuffed, it's hard to keep it intact.
No, you can. You got to position yourself too. Now you also have to be able to have. For me, the left hand is the key hand here. You got to have the right hand with the ability to put a little salsa on there. So if I'm now going one hand and all of a sudden things are starting to come apart, you're right. I should not be using a fork for everything that's fallen off.
You know what you do?
Yeah.
Is you just get two slightly smaller burritos, and then the problem's solved. Because I'm getting all the
going to Chipotle. It's $88.
The internal. I'm getting the chicken or whatever the meat is.
Yeah.
Getting my salsas. I'm getting all my accoutrement.
Yeah.
But if there's just, I want to be able to just, like you said, I have a nice firm grip with one hand, salsa with the other. It's a good
Or
way
just
to
don't
do
do
it.
that before a Laker game.
It seems like a bad. You should have had what I made last night. Right? That nice
Right,
and
we forgot
light.
about that.
Nice and good. Nice and fresh. Homemade.
How long did that take for you? So tell people what you
From
cooked last
beginning
night.
to end.
Yeah.
An hour.
Okay.
Not too bad. So this was a.
Because you can simultaneously do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it was in the oven, some of it was on the stovetop.
So I'm talking.
I like that. She's taking away anything that you did that we thought was impressive.
No.
She's like, that's
Well, I'm
nothing.
just saying you can do it simultaneously.
From the time I got in my car to drive to the store till
Yeah.
the time the food was on the table was an hour. So I went and picked up 2 salmon fillets. I got a zucchini. I got an onion.
And is that a Hot Pocket?
It's not a Hot Pocket. And I got some mangoes, jalapenos, cilantro, and limes.
Good spread.
I made a jalapeno mango salsa relish, however you want to call it. Put that on top of a sautéed piece of salmon, a little brown rice, a little sautéed zucchini and onions. There you go.
Did
Done.
anything-
And did you notice my pan, Slee? Did you know? I basically sent that entire series of pictures to you just so I was hoping to get a response to you out of the
cast iron
pan.
right there.
Right, you see the crust on the top of that thing?
Yep,
How it's just basically perfect.
This is where my eyes went. My eyes went to the finished product.
Better.
And I wanted to, I was curious.
I almost did it on purpose.
Well, here's what I was going to ask, because last time you sent us one of these, it was some type of sauce that you had that was in a restaurant. They would have wiped that off.
Yeah.
Right? They would have done.
It was sriracha.
Did you have to wipe anything off in this?
Yes. But it was when I took the fish out of the pan.
Yep.
There was a little oil on the spatula, so I did wipe that off.
You know what my mind went to?
But did it come? If I didn't point that out the first time, would you have left it alone?
No, I would have got. You know why? Because the oil was a little black and it was
Okay.
unappealing
So it took
to the
away
eye.
from the-
Yeah.
So my mind went to picture number 2 in the background because we have the mango salsa.
Yes.
Looks lovely.
Thank you.
Just a low key.
She's going to come
thin
with the
mints.
heat next.
Low-key
I
thin
got those
mints.
on the way out.
No, but I think that's so funny.
Oh, I did not
is that
notice
it's just
the Thin
in the
Mints.
background of the photo
Yeah.
that it probably wasn't supposed to be there, but you were snacking on your Thin Mints as you were making this. Is what I'm assuming.
Nope, I had
Okay.
the Thin Mints after.
But I do think it's funny that that's what my first mind, and then also that you don't. So this is a thing for me, and it's because I'm lazy and I don't want to get my pans as dirty. But I always put down like foil or parchment paper or something on my baking sheets, just because I don't want to get them all.
Oh no!
rusted over and
I got a
gross
little
and
bit of
dirty.
a fetish when it comes
That's a
to
good point.
my
You wanna
dishes.
clean 'em.
I
Yeah.
clean them the second they're done. They're always clean.
Oh no! I mean,
Yeah.
same, but grease sticks.
But I don't have that problem. Like when I'm done with it, they're even because I've tried the foil or the parchment or whatever. Food doesn't come out quite like I want it, and the pan's still dirty anyway. So,
So
maybe
this
I'm doing my
was-
parchment wrong. It's a good deal.
I was trying to think. Were you full after this?
Yes.
Because a light meal.
Oh, did you not hear the part where I had
38 Thin Mints?
No, it was like 6. It was half of a sleeve basically. It
That's
was
a
pretty,
good observation,
pretty good.
noticing the Thin Mints.
And I
Because
can't
anytime you're
wait-
taking photos and you're going to share it with somebody, you are kind of keeping in mind, like, okay, maybe you shouldn't have my shoes in the background.
Sometimes there's things that I'll notice that I don't want in the background. The Thin Mints I was fine with.
Yeah, Thin Mints you were okay.
I can't wait till you finish the bear and you really want a beef sandwich, because that show makes you want that beef sandwich more than anything.
Do you like an Italian beef sandwich?
I don't go out of my way and say, hey, I'm going to go get that. That show,
Makes
there
it
were
look
plenty
sexy.
of times where I'm like, yeah, I would
You
like
want
an Italian beef sandwich.
Hit and miss for me. All right, we're doing no cap. Emily.
Dodgers?
No cap. Dodgers, Lux.
Let's do it.
Who does
Yep.
it next? It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
Oh, you all right?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. Okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
First fall of the day. Oh, it's on camera.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes...
At least you didn't eat it like Mace. You're good. Oh.
This is Sliwa, your Wednesday. Of course, if you haven't heard, AD is not going to play tonight against the Thunder. Coverage begins, by the way, at 3:30 p.m. with Slee. Toyota Lakers countdown to tip-off. Meanwhile, this inspired Travis to make an incredible comparison earlier on the show. A Mandy Award-winning comparison.
Mason just kind of gets sick occasionally. If Mason didn't show up today, would you be surprised? Because Anthony Davis is Mason in this situation, where he sometimes gets sick and doesn't show up. And it's not surprising, right? It's just kind of the Mason/AD experience.
Let me give you an example. Let's say Mason yesterday said, man, we have such a big show coming up tomorrow.
Even then.
We have a really big show coming up tomorrow. There's a lot riding on the show tomorrow. Everybody's expecting this show to be one of the best shows. And then I find out in the morning.
Yates is sitting here, you'd be like, yeah, that tracks. You know I'm right.
Of course, you could hear Mason during Super Crosstalk coming up at 12:55 p.m. Mason in Ireland this afternoon. Right now, more of Travis and Sliwa for your lunch hour on 710.
Emily made an addendum to the comparison that I think is spot on about Mason being AD. AD won a championship for the Lakers. Mason and Ireland won Show of the Year at the Mandy's.
Yeah, no, they have chips.
Yeah, they got a chip.
Yeah.
AD's got a chip. Mm-hmm. But there's the other comparison that I feel is just as accurate.
Mason walked over here. I never seen him throw both hands up as if he was at a bar and he was saying, "Did you say something about me?" You know, kind of like across the bar.
No, AD is a top 75 player in the NBA history.
That's
He's
right.
Top 75,
which is ludicrous.
That's
by the way.
great things to think about Steve Mason.
Undeserved.
No, agreed with you that, Taylor. Mason's a definitely top 75 talk show host of all time. I'll give him that. Right behind Jim Healy here in town. Great. That's the guy that made me want to do talk radio. You guys will know.
No, I don't know.
There's a group of people out here. You got to be a little bit older. It was on, I want to say KABC. Okay. And KABC was not a sports talk radio show. Jim Healy was this guy. It was just this series of sound clips that he would play that were ridiculous, and he would react to them. It was 30 minutes long. That was it. One day, 30 minutes. It was awesome. And he'd just make drop, respond to it, drop. Awesome.
Thought you were going to say Hacksaw or one of these.
I listened to Hacksaw.
Oh, back in the day.
Hacksaw was your guy. Hacksaw was the guy that got you into it.
Not talk show. Chick was anybody. There's an actual speaker, and I'm hearing from somebody through a speaker. It was Chick.
But you don't do play-by-play.
Back in the day, but Chick was also post-game. Remember, Chick was doing
KMPC.
Chick was doing stuff more than just play-by-play. Chick was
bowling for dollars.
That's right.
Yeah. What else did he do?
Chick did post-game show too. There was a time.
So that was the aspiration. Was the post-game show?
No, post-game show was, aspiration was just talking Lakers basketball. Just literally talking Lakers basketball. But Chick Hearn was the voice of the Los Angeles, so everything was kind of revolved around him.
I thought you meant like he was doing a talk show, and I'm like, how did I not know about that?
No.
That's because I would have liked to have seen that. That would have been great.
Those shows back in the day, was it 690 Days? Remember it was like Quintera, Coach John Quintera, some of those guys. So it was back in the day.
It was 710 KMPC was where Jim Healy was.
That was awesome. Just amazing show. Steve in La Habra. Steve, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up, Steve?
Hey, you guys. You know what? I kind of got to call you guys out. Of course you tip the chambermaid. You tip her no matter if it's a no-tell motel or the fancy hotel in Vegas. $10 a night. Even if you don't have them come into your room like Amanda mentioned, okay, then you just give them a $20 flat fee. But you have to realize they're scrubbing the toilet after you leave. They're scrubbing the shower and picking up your wet towels off the ground.
Not wrong.
Actually making the bed.
Not wrong.
When
we leave tips so easy for certain things, or we buy a drink that's like, well, how is that $18?
And then you pay $25. You leave like, here's just take $25.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
It's a good point. I had the argument with my buddies. They're all looking at me like, you are they used a certain word, 7 letters. Like, how do you not take? And they explained it. I'm like, disgusting. You're right.
But I mean, do you tip
yes.
whomever cleans your toilets ever? So we tip the person who cleans the toilets here?
Well, you make a good point. You're right, but it's not just my bathroom. If I were the only one using that bathroom for a week, then sure. But in a hotel, it's the dirty towels. It's making the bed. It's putting it's all of it's cleaning the toilet. It's the stuff that no one really wants to
give
do.
You an example.
More than just the person that cleans your room will touch those towels. Then
I'm assuming it's like a restaurant where the server tips out the busboy, that it kind of trickles down.
Usually when I go get water or coffee, I do kind of wipe down. I'm a wiper, right? I wipe down. I'm just saying.
That's a drop.
If I could get 6-7 people to just chip in $1 or so, we're good.
I got $1 for you.
Keep it over there.
Once
we get to 5, I want a $5 bill.
Should my roommates tip me for cleaning my bathroom?
No, because that's not your job. You chose to do that. That if you had say, hey guys, in exchange for me getting $100 less a month in rent payment, I will clean the bathroom every other week. That would be the
and then tip me on top of it.
And then they could also say, oh, by the way, here's a bottle of wine because you did such a good job.
I keep this side pretty clean. Whoever's after me, just keep $1 there. Give me $1 or two.
Ireland should owe you $1 because
Alan made $75 this week.
You
at
should
7:10.
take $1 for whoever comes in last because you are always making sure that it goes from there. All right, let's talk about the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Gavin Lux is down for the season, and it really sucks. I want to start right here because I think this is kind of interesting. He was very emotional talking about what had happened. And
very emotional.
Certainly understandable considering what he's going through, but I want you to listen to this.
Yeah, no, me and Doc had a really good conversation, and he's been extremely supportive already, and he definitely cares, and more than probably anybody. So I'm really appreciative of what we talked about, and that's private, so it doesn't really matter. He's been really good for me in the last 24 hours, and I love him to death. So
okay, so clearly a very emotional Gavin Lux.
Yep.
Talking specifically about Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts on our show and across the city gets hammered for not winning the World Series more. Gets hammered for some of the decisions that he makes or doesn't make, right? Just gets blown up. We've taken that call from the guy who can't manage a Dairy Queen, right? Okay, whatever the...
I miss him, by the way.
He'll be back.
I miss him.
He'll be back.
Can't run a Circuit City if his life depends. Well, no, Circuit Cities are closed.
So, they'd be waiting a long time. You and I have had the conversation about is Dave Roberts...
Yeah.
One of his superpowers is he's willing to take all of the bullets for the front office because they're collaborating on these decisions, yet he's the one that's ultimately held responsible, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's part of it. I also think he's done a pretty good job, generally speaking, managing his team. What you just heard right there, I think is the reason he's been in this job as long as he has, and there really has never been a whisper of him not being in it. Because this is a guy that was talking about his manager like he was talking about his dad.
Yep.
This is a guy that's talking about somebody that I love him, that he's helped me through some very difficult times. He said some things here that really helped me. I'm sure that not everybody feels like this, but if he's able to make connections like that with players like Gavin Lux, maybe that's Doc's greatest skill as a manager of the Dodgers. Are those, Emily, how'd you describe them? Soft skills?
Soft skills.
Those soft skills that allow him to connect to people to get the best out of them, as opposed to I'm going to put this pitcher in this inning and have this batter face that pitcher.
So it's a fantastic trait, and I think there are a lot of people that can't connect. There are a lot of bosses that cannot connect with their employees like that. And I'm sure there's a lot of those Dodger individual players that got Dave Roberts back like no tomorrow. The problem is that job as the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, it also comes with very important expectations. And it's not like the Dodgers are a team like the Rockies or the D-backs or anything like that where the expectations aren't high every single year. So you can take that trait that he has and that relationship and that connection that he has with Gavin Lux, and Gavin Lux almost kind of holding back tears a part of his conversation. You could take that and say, man, what an unbelievable skill set that Dave Roberts has, that connection with the players. The other side of it is, Dave, there's certain situations or predicaments that you can't really put a finger on, but come postseason, why doesn't this team play like they do in the regular season? That's also on Dave Roberts, right? So you're not wrong with everything that you said, and you're probably right. That's maybe a real reason why Dave Roberts has been around as long as he has, and he's been so successful as a manager. But he's on a franchise where you cannot have an excuse. There aren't any excuses for the Dodgers, and they've been so good that you might take one positive, but I could also look at this and say, well, how about these situations? all of that kind of has to be applied together.
You know me, I like to be an optimist, right? That's just my default setting is very optimistic about everything that's coming on. The pessimistic side of what you just heard from Gavin Lux is not Dave Roberts is obviously a compassionate human being.
Yep.
He's able to connect emotionally with guys. Is there not an argument to be made that the guy that's sitting in that chair needs to be a cold-blooded you-know-what, and just that, dude, I may like you, but I don't give a damn. You're sitting down.
I think they already have that, though.
You're not getting the hit when I need you to get a hit. You haven't pitched well in 2 weeks. I got to sit you down, man. I love you, and I want you to live a long, healthy life, but you're killing me right now. Sit down. Like that. There are guys, not everybody loved their manager, and guys have won some World Series. Some of these guys are very popular, but some of these guys are real sons of bitches that are difficult to deal with, that are not well liked, but get results out of their team. I don't think anybody's running through brick walls for Buck Showalter when it comes to loving him as a guy, but everybody kind of understands he's got his finger on the pulse of the team.
I think the question you're asking then is, all right, well, what's that balance then? Because if that's not Dave Roberts' strength, then you just have to know Dave Roberts got to play to his strengths.
Yeah.
That's obviously one of his strengths. If you're going to ask Dave Roberts to be something that he's not, I don't know if that's going to, rub off well. I know that's not what you're pointing at, but I'm saying that there's certain managers that have a certain style that suits them. And there's I use an NBA example. Phil Jackson was one of the first coaches that just sat there when it was a 15-0 run from another team.
Right.
He's like, why am I going to call timeout? You guys figure it out. That's Phil Jackson style. There's other coaches that it's a 6-0 run. Timeout.
Yeah.
Clipboard. Here's what you got to do, all this.
Yeah.
Styles, I guess, make fights. Dave Roberts has his own style.
I think that we've seen especially through this offseason, what they did to Justin Turner and what they did to Cody Bellinger. These are two people that have been there for a long time, were staples of the Dodger team, that they cut. That they could have kept if they were being, the soft skill part of Dave Roberts. So I think that they have the good cop of Dave Roberts and they have the quote-unquote the bad cop of Friedman in the front office that can be cold-blooded, that can make decisions on people quickly and swiftly in a way that you need a Dave Roberts so that someone wants to play for your team.
You need somebody that you can open up to because the other guy doesn't give a damn.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
need a mom and a dad.
I need to tell you how I feel because I know they don't care how I feel. And if you actually connect with me on that, I don't know. It just I was really struck by Lux's response to the problem because it wasn't just, hey, look, it sucks. I wanted to be the shortstop for the Dodgers and I'm hurt and it's not going to happen. It was Davis. This happened 24 hours ago. He's already helping me through this, and that's one of the people that he went out of his way to mention. I think speaks volumes about Dave.
Dave, he spoke too, and one thing that actually stuck out. Now that you're bringing this up, one of the things that he said too was that I'm letting Gavin handle it emotionally how he does. Let him do his thing. I want him to, however he feels, let that be the emotion that comes out. You could tell he's just this is Dave Roberts. This is his strong suit is situations like this.
Okay, so who actually, now that we're done feeling sorry for Gavin Lux,
who plays short?
Who plays shortstop? It's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Are you dealing with a dead battery? If you are, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. They offer free battery services like their free battery testing and free battery charging. Their free battery testing can help you know if you need a new battery or not, or if you're in need of a fresh charge. And if you do happen to need a replacement battery, they can help with that as well. They've got reliable replacement batteries starting at just $79.99, and they're the only place you can get proven tough
Ireland with the title Lakers countdown to tip-off. Tip-off at 5 p.m. Hear all of it for your afternoon drive on your flagship radio station of Lakers basketball, 710 ESPN. Right now, more of Travis and Sliwa, your Wednesday.
Dodgers ahead 1-0 in their spring training game. Mookie just hit one about 900 feet.
That's pretty good.
Top of the first inning. He's a pretty good player. So Mookie's interesting because Mookie, when he was with the Red Sox and he won the MVP, I was looking at I know he's really, really good, but I think they might be overhyping this guy a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't watching the Red Sox play 150 games.
Sure.
I'd see him play 20 games. And, he was good. He came to the Dodgers in that first year, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it now. I get what this guy does every single night, that he is the ultimate little spark plug that when he's going, the whole team seems to get going. If they can get, and last year he was good, not great. The year before that, the COVID season, he was out of his mind. He was so good. If we can get MVP level Mookie again, I think it lets all of these other things, like who's going to play short and who plays center field,
figure itself out.
It really takes a lot of pressure off of some of these other guys if he can get back to that MVP level talent that he is.
I know you want to talk short Sox. Can I ask you a quick question because we got May on the mound right
Code
now.
Red.
Code Red, no doubt about it.
I like Ginger Guard better.
You like Ginger Guard's good, but would he be Ginger Guard if Syndergaard weren't on the team?
Yes, he's been called out way before that. Okay, also, I used to thought, hey, guys watched the movie Brave, a Pixar movie?
I'll watch it tonight.
I haven't seen that one.
When I first watched it,
She's an archer, right?
Yeah, but she has really thick, curly red hair, and I used to call it Dustin Merida before I knew him.
I like Code Red.
Okay, here's my question for you. The Dustin May. So last year comes back. How long was he out for with his injury? A year,
basically.
Okay, basically a year. And he had one start. Remember, he had a really good start right out the gate, and
against the Rocks, something
like that. But he had a really good start, and then there was, watch out! Look what he's going to do. He's got some of the dirtiest stuff in Major League Baseball, which
maybe the dirtiest.
Which I don't argue that he does. This year coming in, I'm curious as somebody. Take your Dodger hat off for a quick second. What are proper expectations for May? What are fair, right expectations that, and maybe you don't know until you see a month of baseball?
No, it's a good question. I think if he performs at the level that I expect him to perform, he's an all-star caliber pitcher.
Okay.
I think that's what he is, for the reason that you said. I don't know if there's somebody with better stuff in baseball than him, right? And there's Justin Verlander, and there's Scherzer, and there's guys with great stuff.
Sometimes stuff's so crazy where it's control.
Slee, I always go back to this, that there was, when he first came up, he was pitching to Manny Machado, who's one of the best players in the whole league. He threw a pitch, kind of a cutter, that ran in on the right hand of Machado, that Machado swung and missed at. It nearly hit Machado in the stomach.
Jeez.
Okay, that's how ball, and Machado turns around, he's like,
what do you want me to do?
He literally turned, I think it was the guy on deck, and said, what the was that? I'd never seen that before. It's Manny Machado. Okay, this is a guy that's seen nothing but great stuff for a long time. He needs to learn how to pitch. He's still a young pitcher. He's still figuring it out. He's figuring out that maybe that pitch I'm talking about to Machado, I don't have to throw that. I need to throw that pitch 3 times a game. I don't have to throw it 40 times a game. I need to save it for when I need to deploy it. I don't need to throw 99 on every pitch. That's sitting 94 occasionally is pretty good.
Needs to learn how to pitch. That's a perfect way to put it.
In, out, up, down, slow, fast. Pitch, not just have electric stuff. He seems to be getting closer. He seems to be getting better at it. But if they're going to go where they need to go, he needs to be.
Yeah, because the reason why I mention it is we talked a little bit about their rotation, and you were telling me, listen, on paper, the rotation is amazing. Tony Gonsolin, Julio, Clayton Kershaw, and then Dustin May, and of course Syndergaard as well. But the reason why I have curiosity about him because Clayton Kershaw, would you be surprised or shocked Clayton Kershaw misses some time this year? I don't think that's.
I will go ready. He's going to miss time in May.
Yep.
And he's going to miss time in August.
Okay.
Book it.
Sounds good. And that's probably comes with age, and they're also trying to get him ready for Julio. I don't think there's any questions about. I think Gonsolin, actually, I don't really have that many questions about. I think Tony Gonsolin's going to be.
I'm going to need to see it again.
You have some more questions?
I'm going to need to see it again.
So you say you need to see it again. Dustin May needs to learn how to pitch. Clayton Kershaw's going to miss some time. And then you have Noah Syndergaard, who you're hoping comes in and becomes a Dodger. Maybe that Dodger way. I think it's fair to say, look, there are some questions with the rotation. I don't think it's perfect.
Yeah, but nobody's is. You're right. Mm-hmm. But this thing that they had for the last 3 or 4 years, where you got 8 All-Stars in your starting lineup, you got 4 Cy Young Award winners on your pitch.
Who was the dude yesterday called in? It was Bueller, Julio, Kershaw, and Scherzer,
and Bauer. Okay. And Bauer.
Yeah, that's not normal.
Yeah, this is not how it's supposed to be. That was a one-off, and this is what more like it is. If this guy lives up to this, then we're going to be pretty good. If he doesn't, we may have to go in a different direction, which brings us back to Lux. This is kind of the exact same thing you were saying. Lux going down, the Dodgers went from having more depth and more optionality at more positions. Muncy could play basically all 4 infield spots if he had to, right? Mookie can play all 3 outfield spots and second base. You've got a guy like Justin Turner who could be a third baseman, a first baseman, a designated hitter. You've got Chris Taylor who could probably play 7 positions on the field. You've got Cody Bellinger who can play center field and first base. You've got all of these options, right? Austin Barnes can catch and play the infield. He can. He has. Seager leaves.
Yep.
Turner leaves. Lux gets hurt. Now, all of a sudden, you're having to put guys in one spot, and your optionality is incredibly limited. Now, if you elevate Miguel Rojas to your starting shortstop position, which seems like probably the first stop in all of this, like, let's try this first. Okay, now, who's your your infielder right now? Okay, it's Chris Taylor. Okay, well, if he plays the infield, who's playing left field?
Yep.
Well, okay, we'll put Mookie in. Okay, now they're really thin all of a sudden. And that's why I think with the Lux thing, they got to go get somebody. I'm not saying it has to happen today or by the end of spring training or even the first month or 2 of the season. They need to add a guy.
Yeah.
They need to put somebody in there. I don't know if it's an offensive type of player or if it's just strictly a defensive type of shortstop. But they're basically operating on 0 depth before the season has even started. They need to add a guy. Maybe it's Andrelton Simmons. I've heard Profar's name, former Padre.
Yeah.
They're going to need to add some people because if you just start shuffling the deck, you're
before
running
the
out of
season
cards.
even starts. And that's so different from what the Dodgers are accustomed to, where, like you mentioned, it's usually they got more than they know what to do with. Hey, how are you going to find this guy, PT? How are you going to get this guy at bats?
Right.
How are you going to? That's not the case. And Lux was already, before the Lux injury, it was already a lot of question marks of, can Lux play short? Right? Like that was already a legit question. How are you going to use him? But it's his bat that you were looking most forward to having a part of the mix.
We'll find a place to put him. He hit his way into the order.
Okay. Now Lux comes out. This was before Lux, right? Before the Lux injury, you were already like, hey, we're pretty thin in a lot of these spots here. Now Lux with the injury. I don't know if it happens. I wouldn't be surprised they start the season like this. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe even a couple months goes by. But definitely before that trade deadline, you got to imagine that the Dodgers will address it. They know it. I mean, if you and I are talking about it, when were the Dodgers talking about it? That front office doesn't need any help on how to run a baseball team.
Jack Harris, I think, wrote this in the Times this morning. It was a good description that the Dodgers are like a Jenga tower right now. It's fine, but you've taken a couple pieces out, and if you take 1 or 2 more,
example.
It's going to tip over. And that's Jason Hayward going yard. This is look, Dodgers are going to the World Series. Betts is going yard. Jason Hayward is going yard.
But if they lose tomorrow in spring training, you want Dave out.
You could go send him back to Dairy Queen or whatever the restaurant du jour is. They got to add a guy.
Yeah,
Miguel Rojas can't play shortstop every day. You can't have a really. He doesn't have to hit 270. I think with the shift and everything else, the days of having a guy that's batting 210 in your lineup, 220. Maybe one. You can't have a couple of those guys.
Can they do to him what? I know this is not a perfect example, but Bellinger basically played center field for X amount of years because of his defense, and you were hoping at some point he's going to give you some offense, and it was clear it just wasn't going to happen.
Not here.
Rojas, can you have him as your shortstop because of what he does defensively? Or you lost too many pieces that bat it just becomes too important?
If Max Muncy returns to form,
okay.
If Chris Taylor returns to form,
sure.
Yes.
Couple big ifs, yeah.
If either of those 2 guys continue to look like they looked last year, then now you got 2 guys that are really struggling. Makes it a lot harder. Mookie's going to do what he does, and Freddie's going to do what he does. The star guys will be the star guys. I really do think that offensively, this team will go as Muncy and Taylor go. Those guys Muncy's a good. go back to Anthony Davis for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I get frustrated with him and I'm not optimistic about what Anthony Davis is going to do because for 2 years I've just seen him miss games over and over again. So I'm going to assume he's going to miss games, right? I'm going to assume Max Muncy's going to get hits because that's all I've ever seen him do. I'm going to assume that last year was the weird one because he broke his wrist right before the end of the season. There's a very obvious he did get a lot better towards the end of the season. I'm going to assume what I've seen most often will be what I've seen.
He's going to come back to form.
Yeah, and same thing with Chris Taylor. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. I mean, if one of those guys is struggling,
it's not in the past where it might have seemed like a luxury. It's now a necessity. Now they have to.
Yes.
They have to.
Yeah, it's
now
not
it's
gravy.
different. Yeah.
It's part of the meal. By the way, this is not a huge sample size, but Andrew Heaney, big acquisition for the Rangers during the offseason. Another one that the Dodgers, turned into a valuable asset again, is getting pounded by the Dodgers right now. Again, 2 home runs. There's a little bloop single right there, but Outman just hit one to the wall that could have been a triple. He doesn't seem to be missing a lot of bats. Early in spring training, no big deal. Tyler Anderson, when does he
How
pitch?
locked are you on spring training?
A little bit.
Are you Ducks game on or a Dodger game?
Oh, Dodgers.
Spring training?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
That fits.
Yeah. Now, look, if it's
because if
I got an answer
Lakers
for this.
preseason game or what's the show I just started watching?
Longmire?
No, Honor.
Your
Honor.
Or the Bear.
Or the
Your Honor or Lakers preseason. I'm going Lakers preseason.
Yeah,
we'll just have to wait on the Honor.
I understand. If it's the 8th inning and the guy that's pitching is number 94,
you're still watching,
and the guy that's hitting is number 76, I will turn that off because both of these guys are going to be driving a truck in 6 months. Okay, they're not major league caliber guys. I like to watch Major League Baseball.
That's fair.
I want to watch Corey Seager and Mookie Betts today. Once they come out of the lineup, I will probably switch over to the Bear or whatever the name of your show is. that feels about right. Let's try a quick phone call here. Let's go to Downey and Jason. Downey, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up?
Real quick, Al, a few more episodes of The Bear, and I guarantee you and Lady Slee will only answer to each other as, yes, chef.
Yes,
Great
chef.
show.
Okay. That works.
But I was telling Emily, guys, doesn't, with the AD thing, constantly getting hurt, doesn't this kind of seem like Kyrie might be a Laker next year? I really like the team they built, but I'm terrified that Pelinka's going to go up. This team didn't do nothing. Let's blow it up again. We need the third star, Kyrie. Let's bring him in. And I feel like it's going to be another Russ move again, that we have some good players under a contract that they're just going to ship them off to clear cap space for them. And they need to realize that instead of them trying to get the third star, maybe they got to look at the one star that rarely plays, because I feel like they're hell-bent on keeping this LeBron-AD tandem together, where I just think they got as many rings as we could out of them. So instead of, trying to get that third star, maybe we do got to look at trying to get AD. I mean, we probably will. If you talk to Ireland, he'll probably say whoever lands AD is the team that wins the trade. Like you said, Trav, not really if he doesn't play. I'm down for 5 decent players as long as they play.
Jay,
that's my take. Have a great day,
Jay,
guys.
appreciate you calling in. I don't think so. I think that if the Lakers, let's say, flamed out because Bron didn't play X amount of games and then now they're out of the playing term, whatever the case is, I think that's makes it more likely because you didn't get
more
a
likely
chance
to keep the group together.
More likely to keep the group together because you never really got a chance to see the crew, right? Like I think you spent the last couple years trying the 3 stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Kyrie is out there killing it in Dallas. And I think the optimism that was coming with the Lakers with some of the different role players, I think it makes it more likely that they try to just say, hey, let's keep these 2 guys, but let's actually have a rest of a team built around them.
I don't want to dumb it down too much, but what if LeBron says, I want LeBron? Look, I don't care what we got into the play-in. I don't care if it worked pretty well. I want Kyrie. Now we're right back to where we were a couple of years ago, which is a non-executive, a player, calling the shots, or at least having a very loud voice
Influence.
at the table as to what's going on. And look, I want Kyrie. James Vanderbilt or Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley are fine, but I want Kyrie. Go get me Kyrie. Me and Kyrie and AD, we'll make. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. It just feels like the Lakers don't strike me as a team that has learned from their mistakes. They keep. If left didn't work, I'm going right. If right didn't work, I'm going back left again. And they just kind of keep ping-ponging between philosophies.
What's incredibly disappointing is we're supposed to be talking about right now D'Angelo, Anthony Davis and LeBron James, how that crew works together for the final 20 games. Instead, we're talking about all three of those guys won't be playing tonight against the Thunder.
All right, Anthony Davis is not playing tonight, like Al just said, and is that the end of the line? If he's down for tonight and anything beyond tonight, is that it? That's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710. All right, we're reminding you that Pickleball Madness, or March Pickleball Madness, is coming up on March 18th at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley. It's free for all non-participants, and there's a million things to do, Al.
All right, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come out, hang out. We do these events every time we do them. We love having listeners there. We got our Pop-A-Shot Challenge. We got a beer garden going on. So we got everything going on. Don't forget that day.
Games for the kids. Bring the kids on out. It'll be a great time. You'll watch me and Al just wipe the floor with everybody because we're pickleball experts.
We'll be out in the first round.
Weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Travis Rogers, Alan Sliwa.
Do you have like a taco guy, like a go-to person, like in your phone, his name, and then it says taco guy, or no? I'm honestly, like, do you go to the same person?
We have a couple that we use.
Travis and Sliwa on 710 ESPN.
Al is going to put a pickleball paddle in his hand or play with a pickleball paddle.
What did we say yesterday?
Yeah, you did have it. Yeah, it's not fencing. It's not a pool cue. You hit it with the big, wide, flat part. Just to give you a leg up on
How
your
bad would that
impending
look?
Match.
I come out there, I'm like, I'm holding it wrong.
Be pretty great. But you're going to get out there for our upcoming inaugural Pickleball Madness Tournament. It's coming up on the 18th. It is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. from the Agape Pickleball Center in Fountain Valley at Miles Square Park. There is reserved seating available if you'd like. You can register at ESPNLA.com. Of course, it is open to anybody and everybody that would like to come. So come on out, hang out with us, maybe have a beer. I'll have a beer with you. You come on by and say, hey, Trav, you want to grab a beer? I'm in.
The problem with that is 38 people are going to say, I'd love to have a beer with you.
We'll do them in groups of 6. Then I can have 6 beers, and it'll be, and then 2 guys.
Try to stand up in the middle of the game.
Oh, don't worry. I have a feeling we're going to have some free time, Slee. I have a feeling we're going to be available to mingle shortly after we start playing. We'll see. But if you come out,
I feel like the confidence level is just starting to just go.
Well,
and it's on you, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have never even played yet.
I thought I would be okay at this. Okay. I'm not a good tennis player. I'm just good enough to beat someone that's bad. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, if you stink, I will beat you. If you're average, I can hang. If you're good, you'll wipe the
Are you Dallas where the trade happened, the Mavs happened, and people got a little excited about now you're 1-4 once you started playing?
I'm the Portland Trailblazers without Dame. I'm gonna beat the bad teams. I'm not gonna beat very many good ones. That's kind of where I am.
love how he took Dame off the team. It's the only guy on the team without Dame.
I don't have that.
Yeah,
I don't have any Dame abilities. But if you come on out, there will be basketball to watch. We got TVs for all the college basketball games. Pop-A-Shot. If you want to learn how to play pickleball, there's demos, there's lessons, there's a kid zone. So bring the kiddos out. Beer garden. I'll be over there probably. Complimentary food and drinks. Live DJ and entertainment. Prizes, giveaways, 360 photo booth. and more. And One More Pickleball is changing the way that people play pickleball. Their mission is to create unique paddles that improve your game from beginners to pros alike. Their paddles are handcrafted and designed in California using the latest technology and innovative materials. They provided our custom paddles for us at ESPN 710 Pickleball Madness Tournament, which we were just talking about. And right now they're offering 10% on your first order on their website, onemorepickleball.com. We have custom ones, Sliwa.
Paddle I'm using tomorrow.
What was it's about comeback. What was it?
Payback's coming.
Payback's coming. That's
it was early.
We still need to kind of sit down
even
and
better.
workshop that. Better. It won't happen at the pickleball tournament.
No. No, I don't think he's there either.
Oh, that's right. He's not even there. So it's very unlikely that it will happen there. Unless you decide
We'll go to his house.
Take it out on some unsuspecting pickleball viewer along the way.
Hey, just so you know, I do have the code to get into his gated community.
Well, Slee, what if we kind of sneak
What if
you
we got
in there
arrested?
after hours? No,
We wouldn't
she
be
got the
expecting
code.
it.
Even
Right?
better.
Just like you're hiding in, I've never seen John's house, but I'm assuming there's a bush somewhere near the front door.
Yep.
Yes.
And you just lurk behind the bush with a big bucket of ice water. Bam!
You know, I'm friends with his wife, Sliwa. You know, I could get his wife in on this.
Amanda,
we could really coordinate this well.
It's impossible that I don't brainstorm with you at some point.
I also know his neighbors.
No,
I've been there
this
for
is-
block parties, so
This is
I
basically
gotcha.
like the inside source. This is everybody needs an
We
insider.
got an inside man.
yeah,
We
I'm
got
an
a double
inside man.
agent.
Yeah.
No doubt.
We've got a double agent. AD's not going to play tonight. LeBron obviously is not going to play tonight. D'Angelo Russell
Not going to play.
is not going to play tonight. So the Lakers are shorthanded. Doesn't even begin to describe what they are. I don't no-handed perhaps. You ready?
Sure.
I think they're going to win tonight because they have to. They really truly have to. And maybe they just won't have enough horsepower, Slee, to get it over, to get it done. But if they don't come out and give OKC the fight of their lives, I think this season is over. Because they're in a weird spot. Their best player is hurt. Their second best player is hurt. Their third best player is hurt.
Unbelievable.
If it doesn't have a kind of a playoff intensity, I'm not saying that the basketball needs to be crystal clear and perfect.
You're saying this is it.
Effort. If this isn't where every possession is guarded like the fourth quarter of a playoff game, I don't know what to tell you. If this isn't a possession where guys are diving, or a game where guys are diving for loose balls and taking charges and just competing in every possible way you can, this is kind of your last stand. You need to beat these guys. You need to win these next 4 games that we talked about. We're talking OKC, Minnesota, Golden State, and Memphis. 3 of those are the OKC on the road today. The other 3 at home.
All at home. They go 5 games at home in a row.
Have to win at least 4 of those games. And OKC, as far as your opponents go, this is the weakest link in the chain. You have to. If you can't win it, it has to be a fight like crazy. Because if they come out there and just like, hey, we don't got AD, we don't got LeBron, we don't got D'Lo, and they just kind of go through it and lose by 12 points, that's a white flag.
If I give the Lakers some credit this year, there are a lot of times, like last year, there'd be games where they're down 20, and then you're like, all right, they're going to lose by 30, and it's over. If I give Lakers credit in anything, they do fight every game. That I don't think I could question that. This is the way I was looking at before we started our show this morning. My mindset was this, and I kind of looked at this 3-game road trip, and I said to myself, all right, if you go 2-1 on this road trip, then you get some real home cooking after that. They do. There's a lot of games they're going to have the rest of the way. They're going to be at Crypto.
After today, they only got 4 road games the rest of the month.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And this is I want to say probably 8, maybe 9 or something like that at home, maybe even more than that, whatever it is, okay? So
10.
I had said that if they go 2-1 on this road trip, okay, you got the Dallas game, you lost to Memphis, no real surprise there. Here's really the question mark. Best player for the Thunder, easy, Shea. He's out tonight. That's official. He's in health and safety protocols. So it's not ideal, the situation Lakers are in. I thought, that had a lot to do with when Lakers were saying yesterday, it's a must-win. We have to have this game against the Thunder. I thought also Anthony Davis was going to be there. He's not going to be there. But what you just said about the desperation mode and the fact that Shea's not there, Lakers playing on a back-to-back, they're playing on a back-to-back. The Oklahoma City Thunder have kind of owned the Lakers these last couple of years. But if you lose to the Thunder tonight and you still have all the question marks that we're proposing the rest of the way, I get what you're saying. I think the only thing that gives them even a sliver of hope is that a lot of these teams in the West are losing, which is keeping the Lakers in it.
But that's not the same thing as being in it. Right, that's
depending on another team.
Yeah. That's surviving, and you live to fight another day. But this is it. This is your last stand. This is it.
Can't argue that.
And Oklahoma City without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is gettable. Even with you playing a game where you don't have your three best players, if you go out there with a ferocious competitive attitude, because if I lose tonight, they're right back to 5 games under 500.
Yeah.
Another,
here we go. Another
week
2
off
weeks.
the
Another 2 weeks since the break.
Another 2, and we're right where we were.
Mm-hmm.
It has to start.
Okay, what
happening.
if this happens?
There is no. Well, if they lose in that, it feels like we're at the end of the line.
Can I go with chasing our own tail? Let's say they win tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell are ready to go. They're good to go for Friday.
Okay.
Are we back to square one where I start looking at every score in the NBA and I start chasing my tail again?
I'm going to need to see it more than once. You know what I mean? I'm going to need to see, because again, it's still no LeBron. LeBron's down until best case scenario mid-March.
Yep.
Probably closer to the end of March is seemingly more realistic. One good game with D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Davis is going to be, well, okay, how did the Timberwolves do tonight? How did Portland do tonight? I'm going to need to see something.
I'll still be looking at all
I know you will.
Still be looking at all the
I know
games
that
and
you
standings.
will. I understand it. I admire it, and I respect it as well. The Dump is coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 7.
Yes, it's time for the Dump.
All right, so dictionary.com added a few more, I guess, slang terms this year, and they were
That's
to their
fire.
dictionary.
Sorry.
So I'm going to give you some slang terms, and I want you guys to guess at what the definition is.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So this first one might be a little easier. So it's digital nomad. Who's a digital nomad?
Digital nomad.
Somebody that has a lot of different devices from different manufacturers.
Does it mean you were born before a time when...
Nope.
No.
Al?
Somebody who is alone and traveling through the Ethernet.
Okay, so a digital nomad is a person who works remotely, who travels around, who doesn't live in one place but works remotely. And so my friend who's visiting is a digital nomad, so she works completely remotely, and so she travels around the United States.
Is it? Don't you want to have a home? Don't you want to have somewhere to go back to?
It's hard.
I bet it is.
Okay, so that one is, I wouldn't want that exactly, but if you said, hey, I'm gone for a couple of weeks, I could still do my job from somewhere else for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm working while I'm there and kind of embracing where I am, but I still go back home after.
Yeah, what if you're in a different place every 3 weeks?
That's tough.
That would be hard.
It sounds like a
so she usually
NBA
does
schedule.
she usually does a month. So she'll be like one place for a month and another place for a month.
Right when you start to know where everything is, it's all right, you're going to Topeka.
Yeah.
All right, month in Topeka, you're going to Baton Rouge.
You get the portion of, okay, I could be somewhere. I'm still getting my job done. I'm still getting the pay. I'm still getting all that. But I'm gone for 2 weeks. I'm kind of embracing wherever I am, and then I'm back here after that.
I understand why that's appealing to others.
Going to San Miguel.
Not so much to me. I like to be home.
Okay, next one is nearly wed. What's a nearly wed?
Living together, longtime partner, not married legally.
Yeah, you're pretty close. So the definition is a person who lives together with a life partnership, sometimes engaged, but with no planned wedding date, sometimes with no intention of even getting married.
Shacking it up.
Influencer. Wow. Right here.
Got that one like on the dot there.
I'm trying to think what else it could have been.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
The next one is trauma dumping. What is trauma dumping? I think Taylor is someone who hates this.
I think I probably know what you want to go first?
No, you're good.
So trauma dumping is when you spill all of your emotional baggage and stuff that you're dealing with on someone else that isn't
within the
really,
first 5 minutes of meeting them.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pretty close. So it's unsolicited, one-sided sharing of traumatic or intensely negative experiences or emotion in an inappropriate setting or with people who are unprepared for the interaction.
It was Taylor and I on Friday. We sat at the Clipper game. I'm like, Taylor, oh boy, do I got some stuff to get off my chest.
So what it would be is you and Taylor at the Clipper game in the suite, and there, for the purposes of this, there's a third person that you guys don't know, that you guys are like, oh my gosh, can you believe Kawhi made that shot? And the other guy looks and goes, did I ever tell you about my uncle?
And then he just keeps going.
It's like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
And then he tells you the most
third quarter
horrible story you've ever heard in your life. You're like, yeah, cool. So do you think Russ is going to make an impact on this team or not? That's trauma dumping.
Yep, that is accurate. All right, I'm trying to find another one that we got here.
You should call me for these definitions. I know them all.
What's a petfluencer?
A what?
Petfluencer.
Petfluent? Like
same thing as
like
an
a dog's
influencer,
Instagram
but
page?
all social for a pet.
Yes, but it's specifically about your pet, and like have the whole
like
Instagram
Rookie's
page for that.
TikTok.
The human does not appear. It's just all
It's
their
just
pet.
the pet.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should get Rookie into the petfluencing business.
All over it. When I get home tonight, I'm going to start working on
Lucrative, man.
All right, the rest I think that are you can explore this page later, but those are some of the main ones.
Good ones.
I think we got what was the one we didn't? Oh, digital nomad. I just picture somebody on
I just thought somebody traveling
in the middle of the desert with like a laptop.
Taking a meeting on
taking
Catalina
a meeting,
Island.
wandering around like through the deserts of North Africa with Apple iPro.
They're in Joshua Tree at like a beautiful sanctuary.
Too close. I need you in the middle of the Sahara Desert alone. Like that's what I picture a nomad be. National Peanut Butter Lovers Day. That's you and me, Slee. Right?
Yeah. Is this a thing? Do a lot of people not like peanut butter?
I don't think a lot,
crazy?
but there are people that are take it or leave it peanut butter people, and there are a very small subset of people.
Does
that
it
don't
matter
like it.
for you if it's almond butter? Do you care?
Well, it's different.
But is it a big difference for you?
It is.
All right, if it's because
is there a difference between almonds and peanuts to you?
No. But what I'm saying is that if in the refrigerator you only have almond butter, are you the one saying no? I'm not taking it.
Oh no! I would eat it.
Any of these butters, I'm basically.
But if I'm
using.
going to the store and I can take my pick, I'm picking peanuts.
Yeah, I usually do peanut butter.
Yeah,
and that's Costco. I go through the.
Do you get that one with the oil on top from Costco? Because I hate having to mix it.
Yeah, I know.
But once it's done, it's the best peanut butter there is.
I know. It takes a little work.
Do you put it that? Okay. Do you take it all out, put it in a big bowl,
no,
mix
I
it
don't
all
do that.
together so it's perfect?
That's a
and
good
then
idea.
Put it
I do
back
not do
into
that.
the jar.
No.
Can I just?
Well, you know what
suggest that
happens
try
too
that
with
one
the
time?
jar that I'm in. It's coming all over the place.
That's the point. You're going to make a mess anyway.
Yeah.
But if you put it in, get all the oil, scoop as much of it, and whip it together with a whisk, put it back in. It's
you said crunchy or smooth?
Yeah.
I like crunchy more, but my girl always gets smooth.
Can't have two?
I don't know. You get two big things at Costco. It's like, all right, I'm already in. I'm like the least complainer when it comes to that stuff. She's a little more picky.
Happy birthday to Justin Bieber, who turns 29 years old today.
Bieber's going to be 29.
Let me ask you this. Emily, you may or may not know this. I don't know. Are you a Justin Bieber fan?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay. Not a surprise to hear you say no. Is he still super relevant?
So, yes, his wife is very relevant right now. Hailey Bieber, formerly Haley Baldwin. She's in a huge social media fight-ish
what do you make
with
of her
Selena Gomez.
fight?
She lost 700 followers in one day because she essentially was bullying Selena Gomez, and people are on
She
Selena
lost
Gomez's
how many
side.
followers?
700,000.
It's quite a few.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yes.
What was she bullying her about?
So it had to do. So Selena Gomez formerly dated Justin Bieber. So that's kind of the whole reason why there's a lot of bad blood in here.
100%.
And Hailey Bieber formerly had been friends with Selena back in the past. Anyway, there's a lot of backstory there. But essentially, she was fat shaming her for how she looked in some photos and posting about it, and then it kind of turned in this whole mean girl thing with her and the other Kardashians and the Jenners and things like that. So I know that no one cares about this whole interaction.
What are you talking about? Nobody cares. 700,000 people
More,
left.
please. I am 100% enraptured by this.
Wait, before you go any further, Taylor, your thoughts so far.
I want more. I wasn't kidding.
Yeah, keep going.
I was waiting for Taylor to respond.
I was waiting too.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Jenners and the Kardashians and the Bieber camp Hailey Bieber camp have turned into kind of the mean girls of this social media age, and so everyone's kind of on the Selena Gomez side. It's Selena Gomez, it's Taylor Swift, it's the Haim sisters, it's the people, and then people are unfollowing Hailey Bieber on her Instagram. That famous people are unfollowing her. So it's kind of this whole thing where she's in a major PR crisis situation, and her husband Justin Bieber hasn't even said anything about it.
Okay.
So it seems, and again, Justin Bieber formerly dated Selena Gomez,
trying to
and
distance
so
himself.
but it's your wife.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen.
She's bad news. It sounds
I don't
like.
know if you guys have gone on Cosmopolitan recently, but there is a comprehensive timeline of all the recent Selena Gomez, Hailey Bieber drama that I'm
Did you
currently
just say
going through right now.
Cosmopolitan?
He
I
has
did.
a subscription.
Cosmo magazine? Nobody calls it Cosmopolitan.
I
Come
definitely
on, get
pronounced
hip.
the whole
Cosmo.
thing.
Yeah, if you're a subscriber,
and-
you would know,
Yeah.
Amanda.
Don't you guys shame my guy Slee for liking Cosmo?
Listen. I am going through this timeline like no tomorrow, and I will keep you guys all posted on this drama going on.
If you can memorize all this, you will be so hip with all the teenage girls.
I'm on my way.
Isn't that what you want?
I am on my way.
You are multilingual. I am not, right? So this may not track quite the way that I wanted to. When you were telling that story, it's like when I hear somebody speak Spanish. I can grab words out of sentences. I know what that meant. I know what that word. You hear the word sentence, you hear the word playa. Okay, they're talking about the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I got you'll hear you got a little bit. That little monologue that you had right there was total nonsense to me. Other than I'd hear Taylor Swift. Oh, I know who that is. Oh,
Kardashian.
Justin Bieber. Kardashian.
Yeah.
I know who that is. The rest are like, this is like hearing a
We're
foreign
team,
language.
guys, just so you know, we're team Selena Gomez.
Okay.
Everyone here, we're team Selena Gomez. I will not stand for any other aspect of it.
Slee, TripAdvisor has named the best U.S. beaches, and 2 of your San Diego beaches made the
in
list.
San Diego.
They made good choices, too. Coronado and La Jolla
Yep.
were number 8 and number 10.
Almost every time I go to San Diego, I stop by in Torrey Pines.
Yeah, great spot.
And that's,
Just south of La Jolla.
they have the state beach there, and they got a beautiful hike that you could take. By the way, right near the golf course.
Yeah.
Right? Take that hike, go all the way down. There you are on the beach. Those are 2 great selections to have.
Coronado is one of those spots.
Coronado, I don't go to. And I should, but I don't know the last time I've been to Coronado.
It's terrific. I'm there a couple times a year. It's just a great spot. Live Golf is now on an over-the-air channel. They're on the CW.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, they signed a deal with them heading into this season. They had their season opening event in Mexico this past weekend, and it drew a 0.2 overnight rating, which is less than World's Funniest Animals, which was on immediately after it.
First off, World's Funniest Animals is very popular. And I think if we're comparing it to World's Funniest Animals, I don't think that's the right barometer for them to go to.
The existential threat to the PGA Tour is not going to come from Live Golf if World's Funniest Animals.
Okay, wait, can't some of these golfers now play in the major?
The majors
major
are
four?
not. Very quickly,
Yep.
the 4 majors are none of them are administered by the PGA Tour.
Got
They're
it.
all administered by independent
Okay, wait.
bodies.
There's so many things happening here. Am I
Yeah.
actually on the air? There's
You
no
are on.
light here,
Yeah,
but the
you are on.
button's not lighting up, so I don't know
No,
what to
you're
do
on.
with
You're
myself.
on.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Momo.
Hey.
Hi, Mace.
This is a great discussion. I don't even recognize this person who just
Yeah,
walked into the room.
I got a lot of questions going on.
What's going on? Did you brush your hair? First of all,
no more hat. I'm done with
looks
the
like
hat.
there's some product in your hair.
Yeah, there's some product.
Let's start with these
There's
questions.
a real sweater. Did you go to Shannon Sharp's closet?
No, but I happen to own this, and I was inspired by Shannon Sharp.
I
and I
mean-
thought I'd dig this out and put this sweater on.
I have questions about the sweater.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. I got to do the visual here. I'm doing a little play-by-play.
Can you stand,
Steve Mason has showed up.
Yes, thank you.
And he is
Real shoes,
in,
too.
in many
Got the
different
camera right
like
there.
real shoes, real jeans, a real shirt, and a dashing cardigan.
I was going to say, and a
they're
thought process to
they're
the color.
all of the same color family, but different textures, which is very in these days.
Yes.
Did Juan help you?
No, I did this.
This is all you?
I did this by myself, yeah. You know, the weird thing is I've got clothes. I do own
Well,
clothes.
Mace,
I just don't wear them
Had you
very
told
often.
me that yesterday, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, no, I do.
Travis, I mean, I don't even recognize.
I totally own clothes. Like, I can look good if I really need to look
well,
good.
Well, you have your hair combed and
Yes.
styled.
Yes.
What product is that?
It's Suavecito. Do you know Suavecito?
I do.
A little bit of water?
Really good product.
No, what is it?
Suavecito.
It's like
It's
a gel
like a-
or
it's
a
like a-
foam
it's
or
like a cream.
It's like a pomade
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
like a salve almost.
Exactly.
I
I
love
don't
that word,
use that.
salve.
Is it salve or
Do not
salve?
use that.
It's salve, right?
Salve, yeah, salve.
You get a
Spelled salve,
you
though.
get something on your leg and you put a little salve on it.
Exactly. I call
But
it
why is
salve
there an L
also.
in there? Is it
I
a silent
don't
L?
know.
It's English. We
I don't
got all
So
understand.
like
bunches
my
of
4-year-old doing phonics, and he's like trying to ask me, how do you know if it's a C or a K? I go, I have no idea.
No,
Just listen to how people talk and
What's
go
the
from
answer?
there.
He's like, kick. Is that with a K or a C? I'm like, it's with a K, but I don't know why.
It's got both.
Mace,
Got
you
both?
look like you did NBA today.
You think so?
Yeah, you look like you went on TV today.
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
Yeah. Well, first of all,
Got an
I'm just-
interview later?
No, I'm cleaning up my act.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning up my act.
Okay.
I'm done with sweatpants. Now I'll still wear hoodies, but I'm not going to wear sweatpants.
What about
to work
Vioris?
anymore.
Those aren't. I wear Vioris, and I feel very good about myself wearing them.
I could probably get away with the Vioris.
Yeah.
Those aren't really.
They're also
that's
very
more like
expensive.
leisure wear. Yeah, they're
Like
very
I feel
expensive.
like they cost enough that they don't count as sweatpants.
They're the Viore, Lululemon, Bird Dog
Yes.
Lane, all
That
of those.
world.
things,
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I have
I
cut.
live in those.
I have cut 9 pounds
Oh, that's why.
since the
Emily.
1st of January.
We're up to 9. Remember, it was
9.
7 to 8. Now we're up to 9.
9 pounds.
Just
Good
because
for
you
you.
changed your diet? Are you working out more?
You know what? We do not order any more from
that's right.
Grubhub or
That's a
Postmates
big
or
deal.
any of those services, which we respect. By the way, also just wasting money. You just
Yeah.
might as well take a $20
Those
bill, set it on
fees.
fire. Those fees are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so stupid,
We
yeah.
we quit that. We're saying I'm getting a little more lean. I'm getting ready for the pickleball tournament.
There you go. Oh, I got questions about
Oh.
your pickleball kind of snafu that you
Oh,
created.
yeah.
We'll do
I
that
know.
next. Super Crosstalk right now.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, so Mace, here's the story as I was told it.
Okay.
You tell me if this is accurate.
Got it.
That
Go.
Al,
Yeah.
Jorge, Berg, and Yates. We're going to go play pickleball tomorrow.
Tomorrow in Pasadena.
Right?
Tomorrow in Pasadena.
And
Okay,
everybody's on the same page, time, location, group, everybody's
Yep.
ready to go. And then you asked Yates, hey, you want to play pickleball on Thursday? And Yates cut the three of them loose to just come and play with you.
Oh.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
See,
just
now-
like that. Gone.
I did not realize Yates was part of the Thursday group, or I would not have asked. I knew you guys. I knew there was some group going to play
Yeah.
pickleball in Pasadena. But Yates lives on the west side, like me, so there's the Memorial Park in Santa Monica where they got a good court, and Calvin, who's helping to set up our tournament, is actually like a supervisor kind of guy there.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, Clinton's in the neighborhood, so I see if Clinton's there, yeah.
So Yates is
Do
going...
you feel bad that you torpedoed it?
Do I feel bad? I do feel bad that I ruined your pickleball date.
Here's
with
the
Clinton.
thing. Here's what's going on now. So Yates is... I get it. He was saying the proximity. Why am I going to go to Pasadena when I can go... Mace, you guys are neighbors, so we get that part. The only issue is he's 4. So
he's your 4th.
Right. Imagine if you're going to go play, if you put a group together and guys, we're going to go play 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah.
And one guy says, I'm going to go play basketball somewhere else. You're like, well, what do we do now? We go 3-on-2?
Yeah.
You got to play
So
knockout.
that's the only issue there.
So you need to replace Clinton in your group in Pasadena.
might have... AK is trying to come out.
Okay.
Here's what I think happened.
Yeah.
He just made a business decision. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
That
Pasadena's
hurts.
too far. I know where Clinton lives. He lives on the west side, right? So he's just not going to drive that far. You live in Venice, right? Venice, Mace. Like, you're going to play over on your side of town.
Yes.
And Clinton was like, why would I go play with those guys in Pasadena?
Because he'd
and
already
fight the
told him
traffic?
that he was going to.
Well, yeah, but
He made a commitment, but
I mean, that
I
seems
was too
like
far.
to be clear, I didn't know that he made that commitment. I
Right,
did
that's
not
not
know
your
that
fault.
he was part of the group.
You-
I just thought,
the snafu-
well, Clinton's in my neighborhood. Well,
why are
Clinton,
you
you want
guys
to play?
playing in Pasadena? Like, what's the reason?
Well,
for
they
that
all live
location?
over there.
So it's
Sliwa lives in
only-
Pasadena,
I live
right?
in Pasadena.
Jorge's in West Covina. That's not super far.
Right.
There's a park probably 15 minutes from here.
Okay, so you chose what was good for you,
Right.
And he
Technically-
chose what was good for him.
Yeah, he
Technically,
chose
yeah, that
based
you might be
on
right on
good.
that.
geography.
It's all fine.
Might be right.
Based on geography.
No,
I
what
underst-
time of day were you playing?
No, but hold on. That if I tell somebody I'm going to be somewhere, I don't just cut them loose if I get a better offer. It's not how that works, is it? Or am I looking fine with?
Apparently
I know
that
you wouldn't.
is how it
You would
works.
go. You would show up where
We would. It's 2-on-2.
Yeah.
Now it's 2-on-1.
If I said to you that I'm trying to think, if John, Michael, and I were playing pickleball in Orange County, where the
Yeah.
three of us live, and Ramona said, "Hey, Slee, let's go play pickleball," but you'd already committed to our group.
I would tell Ramona, I'm already playing there. Do you want to come play with us?
Now we got 5.
Nah.
She's not invited.
Yeah, no, you only need to force him.
No, I
You
think
don't
he
need
made
a
a
5.
choice. I think he made a. Why would I drive to Pasadena?
location choice.
Yeah, it was a location.
Geography
It's
choice.
completely geography.
100%.
That's why I went. I don't think we've got anybody else on the west side that I can. Clinton's the only guy I know that lives on
Yeah.
the west side.
Like,
This will be
honestly,
the-
I would be more likely to play in Pasadena because I live in the
You
valley.
live in the valley, right?
And I don't want to fight the afternoon
You don't want to come to
traffic.
Santa Monica
No,
and play.
No.
I understand the reasoning, like the geography, but it just
Trav's more about the commitment.
yeah.
with that.
Yates is just willingness.
Was
to
it a
cut
hard
3
commit or
colleagues
was it a
loose.
soft commit?
It was, all 4 of us are playing. We were kind of on a little text chain
This
there.
time at
Here's
this
the
place.
address.
That's a hard
We're this. We're all good.
That's not.
I
How
will
many
say-
back and forths were you like? How many back was this? Like a one?
No, not crazy.
One reply.
Yeah, it was kind of a 1 reply.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. First, I
Was
still
there
have
at
never
any-
played, by the way.
Was there at any point if I can, I'd love to? Was there
Yeah.
any hedge at all, or was it I'll be there?
No, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was I'll be there.
Yeah, Bergman.
I still think it's okay.
Bergman
Sorry.
was so fired up today. Bergman was like,
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
I'm done with Clinton. I'm just done with him. I don't need Clinton.
So are you done?
You
with,
can have Clinton.
Are you done with me after I compared you to AD?
That was very Sedano of me. So you're talking about AD. I'm driving in.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about AD injured,
Not playing tonight.
not playing tonight. And somehow, how the F did I get dragged into this? Why did I get dragged into
I
this?
feel like it was an apt comparison. High impact and frequently.
Well, here,
unavailable.
can I give the backstory?
Yeah.
The backstory was, I said that I'm surprised AD.
By the way, I also fall a lot and
That's
randomly grab a limb as you described it.
He falls,
the best
grabs his
player.
limbs,
Yeah.
and misses games.
Exactly.
Tell me which part's inaccurate.
I told Trav, I said, I'm surprised that AD's not going tonight.
Yeah.
And Trav said, why would you be surprised?
I agree with Trav, by the way. I was listening to this whole
Yep,
thing.
yep.
It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yep.
AD's hurt and is not going to play? What?
And I was
What?
trying to explain to Trav, I'm like, Trav, listen, they just played last night. They keep talking about how this game is so important against the Thunder. I know that he had a moment, but it wasn't like in the post game where you're hearing Darvin Ham say he may not
But it's
go.
I watched
Or
the
AD.
I watched the post game. AD didn't talk about it at
It
all.
didn't
wasn't
sound like
re-
somebody
he
that
wasn't
wasn't
even
going to
asked
play.
about it.
Wasn't even asked about it.
This brought me to the comparison, which is if I just was healthy and just didn't show up to work one day,
Right.
it would be surprising. right? If you were here healthy one day and didn't come to work the next day because you were not feeling well, I don't think anybody would be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, look, my days. Oh God, the boss is sitting right there too. My days for the most part. You said scheduled, right?
My days are almost always scheduled.
My days. Occasionally, I'll have an unscheduled day.
Right.
Occasionally, I'll have an unscheduled
And occasionally,
day.
AD falls, grabs his limbs, and doesn't
exactly,
play the next
exactly.
day.
This is the difference, okay? Because I see this from the outside. You guys are here every day, but I can see the big picture here. You guys all have like 7 jobs, okay?
Well, Slee.
Slee, you're like, I don't know. I hear you in the morning. I hear you at night.
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot.
Lakers talk
Lakers
at
talk
night.
on Monday
and
night.
you have
I do the
I don't know.
middays.
You're taping stuff. You're here in the morning. I don't know.
I've got a podcast.
I'm pretty
it's
sure
on
you just
YouTube.
sleep in the garage. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Trav, you do like the Rams. You do all this stuff.
Locked on Rams.
Thank you,
Mace
Mace.
just does this show.
Yes.
And so, therefore, when you guys all look at it, like I do 7 jobs too, right?
Yes.
Like I have the TV thing over there, and I write stuff that's too long for everybody to read. Like I have to keep up with all the games and the whole,
Yes.
Like, I can go on a whole tangent about the Philadelphia
Your
76ers.
mother.
Not
tomorrow.
necessary.
Right. Like, doesn't apply here, right? So, like, if I need a day off, you guys are like, why do you need a day off? You're only here, like, once or twice a month, right?
Right.
Right? Like,
I get you.
You see? So, like, when Mace needs a day off, you guys are like, why do you need a day
But
off?
it's
You
not
only
that
have
does
one
he
job.
need. It's just that he will frequently. He's on the schedule, and then you're not. You don't show up. It's not once a week.
Those are
but it's-
called mental health days, Trav.
Yeah, they are mental health
Fine.
days.
I'm not saying that they're
Yeah.
unexcused.
Those are
I'm
called,
just saying
call
that they're
Momo and see if she's
relatively
downtown.
frequent.
Right.
Fair assessment.
There are times when I do need a mental health day.
I get it.
Yeah.
And there are
And there
days
are
when
times
AD
when you just-
has an injured foot.
So I'm going to go back to my
Yes,
example
yes.
is if you were to say today, guys, we have a big show coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's an important show.
I'm going to be here for the next 23 shows.
There's a lot going on for tomorrow.
Yes.
And then and there's no indication that you're not going to be there.
Right.
And that was kind of AD last night. I was surprised that he wasn't coming on.
Yeah.
So
coming in
maybe
today.
he's taking a mental health day.
Could be taking a
Okay.
mental
There are
Here's the
times
thing.
you do and there are times you don't, right? Sometimes you just, it's not the right time to take a mental health day. Like, for example, if Ireland's not here, I try to make sure I'm
That you're
working all
here.
those days. So, like, for example, now here. So
How did I not contradict myself?
I'm on vacation next week. Yeah. But the reason it's next week is because Ireland's here all week.
Right.
So
I think I'm doing 3 shows with him.
yeah, exactly.
all home games, all Laker home games. Yeah.
Yes, and by the way, I'm a strong proponent. I never bag on anybody who needs a mental health day.
This is not a do you deserve it or not. It is just
Because I'm legit crazy.
I believe you. I'm just saying that you miss work.
Yeah, I do.
I'm not.
Yeah, but he also has like lots of vacation and he decides I'm going to try to use
I
it all.
understand.
I'm never going to leave one on the table. I'll tell you that much.
My point in the comparison is, and I feel the more we talk about this, the better I feel about it. Is there are very important people to the success of organizations. Anthony Davis is very important to the success of the organization. Steve Mason is very important to the success of the organization. You both frequently don't show up to work.
Yeah.
That's my comparison.
I try to give some notice. I don't just suddenly disappear. There is always a conversation involved with management. And here's the truth. I give back money for vacation. Is that not true, Boss Amanda? I give back money for vacation days.
What are you talking about?
When my agent is negotiating, it's like, yeah, do that number, but he wants the X number of vacations.
First of all,
He's
I would have
Kawhi.
never given you that many vacation days, but I wasn't
Yeah.
the one who
Yeah, you were not
negotiated
the
that
one,
for
right?
you.
Right.
So
you need to say that again, Momo.
Yeah, you're not AD, you're Kawhi.
No, I'm not Kawhi.
No, you're
I'm
load
not
managing.
Kawhi is a 2-time Finals
there you go,
MVP.
Momo.
That's a
Load
good
management.
You load
And
manage.
You're like, for me to be at my best all year when it
Right?
counts,
Yeah.
all year long.
Spurs Toronto.
Here for the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's Miami.
it's Kawhi.
What was you guys are having a
No, I was wondering that
He
Kawhi
thought-
did Kawhi win 2 titles or 3?
He's got 2.
Two.
Right?
Two.
Yeah,
Wait,
Yeah.
Spurs
Spurs
and
only won one.
Toronto.
how many did he
Toronto.
win with the Spurs?
That's what I'm trying to think. I
Yeah,
know-
he did. He was Finals MVP with the
2014.
Spurs.
Yeah, 2014.
I
he
thought that was
won.
the only one with San Antonio.
Yeah.
He might have been like a rookie, but earlier. I don't know. I gotta remember that. I gotta go back and
Why did you get so up in arms about the Kawhi comparison?
Because Kawhi, I think, is legit. Like AD, there's clearly. I mean, he did come down weird on that ankle, and I thought, and everybody like gasped when it happened. And his knee
one
did
of
buckle.
the standard
Anthony
AD
Davis fall,
gasps.
right? So I do understand that. Kawhi, I think, just sometimes is sitting out games because he doesn't want to play.
Fair. Okay.
Mace, watched 2 episodes of Bear yesterday.
Oh, yeah? What'd you think?
Good.
The Bear.
Yeah,
the Bear.
good,
The
right?
Bear.
The Bear.
I watched
really,
it.
really good.
Do you
It's
know
chaotic.
anything
So here's the thing. It's chaotic.
And that's the whole point of the show.
So there are times where I'm like, I think I'm getting more stressed as the show is going on.
Yes.
Like there's chaos. There's a lot of noise, this, that.
I gotta be honest.
But
I
but
tried
I was
watching
2
it.
episodes in, and I'm prepared to watch a 3rd episode. So that's
I think I made
my.
it through 4 or 5. It was like a maternity leave show that I tried to watch.
It's
And I
a
got through
really
it,
good show.
And I was like, this just makes me not want to work in a restaurant.
It is.
Like, that was my takeaway. It's
chaotic.
It must be really hard to work in a restaurant like that. They've got multiple chefs going down at the same time. You got the guy trying to make
Orders.
donuts or cakes or whatever the hell he's doing back there in the back of the kitchen. And then episode 7, by the way, is crazy because it's all one shot. The
That's what you're
entire
saying.
thing is
Wow.
like choreographed, and it's all
AK was saying
one
that yesterday.
single 30-minute shot. So I do recommend it. I forget the name of the actor, but he's winning awards and stuff.
Jeremy Allen White.
Jeremy Allen White. Yeah, boy,
walking
Amazon.
IMDb back here.
She
knows
knows
everything.
She knows.
How about your
the
guys'
pop
conversation
culture
yesterday
version of
off air
Bronstein.
She is
about
Like Adam Bronstein, right?
She is a walking
Ted Lasso.
IMDb.
Can I just say, she is the only person. We live in a very
I
divided.
like Ted Lasso.
We live in a very divided nation. Everybody agrees that Ted Lasso is great.
Nope, I don't. I just got Apple TV and I tried to watch it and I
Are you
like
not
it.
happy? Are you
I
an
could've
unhappy
predicted
person?
that.
Because that's a happy show.
No, this
No.
does not feel like an Amanda Brown show.
No, I was like, this is dumb.
You're a little jaded and cynical, I think. Jaded and cynical. I think Ted Lasso is all heart. So what's the dispute between M and Bergman? Bergman was yelling, "You don't like Ted Lasso," and M was yelling.
I just don't think that it's the best thing ever made on all of television ever, which I think people try to argue. I think that it's a fine show, but it gets a little corny.
Was it? But was the argument that it's the best thing ever created, or was it, hey, this is a show where you're going to feel good watching it? The
Right.
sales. I haven't seen it, so I don't have an opinion. But what I've heard is
You would like Ted Lasso.
what I've heard is it's really hard not to watch it and feel good.
Wait a minute,
about
you've not
keeping it.
watched Ted
I haven't
Lasso?
seen
What
it,
is
no.
wrong? Do
I haven't
you have
seen
no
it
heart?
either.
Do
I
you
have
no
not seen it
living,
either.
breathing heart?
Maybe, probably, are
Yeah.
the answers to those
Yeah.
2 questions. I don't watch a ton of TV.
And you don't
Yeah.
have Apple TV, I'm sure.
I honestly don't even know if I do
But
right now.
here's
You
the
don't
thing,
watch a
Emily.
lot of
We
TV.
watch.
What do you watch?
We
Games?
watch.
I watch a lot of games.
Fernando
and I watch-
Valenzuela
I watched,
documentaries.
Yeah, Valenzuela.
Fernando Mania
Dodgermentries.
documentaries.
So you're the guy.
Lakermentries.
I am the guy. I love it. I will watch that Dodger channel.
I always
and
wonder,
inordinate
like,
amount.
who's watching this?
Travis Rogers.
Me.
It's
Yeah,
Travis.
me.
Okay.
By the way, you know what? Just a random thought. So, sometimes I'll come home, I'll put on the game, and I realize it's not on Channel 59, which is my Time Warner. And I'm like, they're running something like totally random, right? Some old time thing where Ramona's being interviewed and stuff.
On the Laker channel. On the Laker channel.
And
Yeah.
the games
Blanks.
on ESPN or the games on TNT, I wonder who the hell is watching Spectrum during that game.
Galaxy fans.
Yeah, there you go.
Hoping that there's what's it called? Not inside, behind the scenes. What's the name of the show?
Backstage.
Backstage
Galaxy.
Maybe
Yeah.
Backstage Galaxy.
Yeah.
You're looking for that. Super Crosstalks.
Oh, by the
powered-
way, I need the rest of the day. I need to take the rest of the day.
Let me see that foot.
Yeah.
Let me see how that ankle's swollen. Super Crosstalk powered by In-N-Out Burger. It's what a hamburger's